Hello. Welcome. It is Sunday. It is Warhammer Sunday. Hey everyone, welcome. It's Fox from Model Making Guru here. Welcome to, and Gorthorm as well. Welcome indeed to Warhammer Sunday. My usual weekly forage into me building my Principality of Xeon Warhammer Imperial Army. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I'm building my own Warhammer 40k army, and I'm theming it on the Principality of Xeon, except for this build, which has nothing to do with it. So this has nothing to do with my Warhammer army. So yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. Anyway, yes, welcome. I tend to do my Warhammer stuff over the weekend, for those of you who've not seen this before, and I invite you guys along for 3 hours on a Sunday just to hang out and have some fun in the chat while I work away. Because you know what? Sometimes working at your bench, it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring when you're on your own. There's no one to talk to. So who better than my good mates on the interwebs to invite along to have a bit of a chat with? And in reality, it's kind of a break for me because, as you'll see throughout the show, I'll do bugger all. I won't do much work. It's mostly talking to you guys. So there you go. But yes, I'll be working on my army. Now, like I say, I'm not working on my army at the minute. I said a couple of weeks ago, what I'm doing is I do have a big stash of unbuilt kits for various things. Some of them are Age of Sigmar, some are Warhammer 40k for my army. Some are just other bits and bobs. So I'm taking some time, while I've got a chance on a Sunday, to just get them built up and primed and then stuck in the cabinet for painting later on in the year, because I'm sick of having boxes and piles sitting around. So at least with the Warhammer stuff, I can get them pre-built and pre-painted. So this week, as last week, we're going to be continuing with our Warhammer Age of Sigmar Lord Celestant on Stardrake, which is this big puppy here. Yes, Space Horse, shouty Space Horse. I'm going to be adding probably the shouty mouth. Then we'll start working on the dude, so I don't know how much we'll get done. As always, though, if you've not seen one of these before, basically I'll sit here and talk to you guys for 3 hours and maybe do some work. As always, if you want to ask me questions, get involved, make sure you're in the live chat. I've got the live chat here. Do get involved. If you're watching this somewhere and you can't see the live chat, you can't see Guthorm, can you? Let me move him forward. There you go. If you can't, now he's right where I'm going to work. I'm going to work there, though. He's right in the way now. Oh. You know he's there. He's there. He's hidden away. You know he's there. Anyway, yes. If you want to, get involved and you can't see the live chat, you're probably watching it embedded somewhere. Just hit the little YouTube icon down in the bottom right-hand corner of the viewer of the YouTube player, and it'll whisk you insta-magically to the YouTube page where you can see the live chat. You can see the chat here, but this isn't the typey chat. If you want to join in, do come and do the typey chat. If you're watching it on a mobile device of some sort, you may need to request the desktop site on your menu of however your menu works to make sure you can see the live chat. But do join in. We'll be giving some stickers away later on. As always, if you want to ask me a question or really get my attention, put your question or comment in big fat capital letters in the chat, because it's right there. If you really want to get my attention, you can do a super chat, which is the... Hello, where's it gone? I pressed a button. You can do the super chat, which is the little dollar symbol down here in the bottom of the chat window. That'll put your comment in a big fat coloured box and make a little noise at my end, and I'll know you've said something that I need to listen to. Not that I don't listen to all of you, I listen to all of you. And don't forget, as always, the ongoing tradition, we are doing our stream boss battle, which I know it says Model Making Guru, but it's not me. It is our Lord and Saviour Kevin, or Golden Demon winner Simon Reynolds, who's our current stream boss. If you've never done a stream boss before, basically, you need to get Kevin, not me, down to 0 health, and whoever gets him down to 0 health becomes the new stream boss, and the new stream boss wins all the money raised through the stream boss battle. How do you get his health down? Well, you do a super chat in the chat window, again, hit the dollar symbol, or you do a tip through the tip jar, which is streamlabs.com/modelmakingguru. The more you put through as a tip, or the higher amount you put through as a super chat, the more of his health you take off. And if you get him to 0, not only do you become the stream boss, I then contact you and say, here is all the money that you've won. What do you want me to buy for you from Games Workshop or from the Forge World store? Basically, you win Forge World and GW kits and products up to the value of the winnings. And I just order them for you and have them sent to you. Now, Simon, when he became stream boss, he won 500 quid's worth of stuff. Aviad before that won 300 quid. So you're looking at between 300 to 500 quid's worth of stuff. So get your super chats and tips coming through. And don't forget, you can take a tiny bit of his health off by just subscribing to the stream. If you're not already subscribed, so subscribe and click the notification bell. That is all the beginning spam out of the way. Oh, I'm British. I don't like doing self-promotion. That bit's all alien to me. So welcome all. Welcome one and all. We do have I'd like to say a special guest in the chat today. Somebody new. Alexa Doof Studios is in the chat. Hey, Alex. You may not know, but Alex is, you'll see if you watch Zach Aurelius' channel, Alex Adoof is often the mod in his live stream chat. And also, Alex does have his own channel. Do go and check it out. How can you not like an RX-78 II with nerd glasses? I'm wearing my nerd glasses today because I'm doing close-up work. So, yeah, how can you not like that? But Alex, yes, I will take you up on your offer of all that free SoundCloud music. Alex was asking, he recognised all the music that I play in the pre-show half-hour preamble. I do have my own music that I composed and wrote myself that I usually use, but I've only got like 40 minutes of it that I ever wrote, so it's kind of the same thing. I just kind of got all this free YouTube stuff. I need to make sure that music is royalty-free, copyright-free, public domain or anything like that. So yes, I'll happily do that. Drop me a PM somewhere, however, and let me know. Right. Let's have a quick look at chat before we get going. So... we have Pascal wasn't the first in. I know he wasn't, but I can't remember who was because that chat's gone now. But I know Pascal wasn't. But hi, Pascal. Lynn Dipple, hi, howdy peeps, howdy Fox. I'm off to work. Have fun. Miss you all. Next Sunday I'm off. See you then, Fox. You better not take the day off. Hey, Lynn. Goodbye, Lynn. Yeah, Lynn always misses the show, so don't worry. We'll be here next Sunday. Fubits is in. Welcome, Fubits. Chris at Gross Models is one of your mods. Like and subscribe. I meant to say, Alex Adoof, yes, go on. Subscribe to his channel. It's a good channel. If you read in the chat, by the way, and you do, if you like subscribing to people's channels, when you read in the chat, do click on the little icon, the little menu button, and it'll give you the option of going to that person's channel. Quite a lot of the people that watch this and hang out in the chat are actual YouTubers themselves, so do give them a subscribe and a like. You'll find wonderful new things. Kenneth is in from Australia. G'day, bro. He says hello and good night all, so I'm guessing Kenneth is off to bed. Say hi to Alex for me. Quano Man is in. Alright, lad. Don't know why I did a southern accent when Quano Man's a mank like me. Pascal Lieverse says it's deadly hot where he is. He's asking me how warm it is. Today's one of those days where it's 3 o'clock now. Outside is a little bit dull, but also bright orange at the same time. I can't really explain. It's kind of dull but orange, and it's really warm, but it's ever so slightly lightly raining. And before the show went live, when I was not typing into the chat, I was actually just stood outside in the misty rain, cooling off. It's quite pleasant. Let's have a look. Mickle Pickle is in. Hello, all you lovely peoples. Welcome, Mickle Pickle. Interzone 88, g'day. It's another Australian. See, Interzone 88 is staying up late, obviously, where Kenneth's gone to bed. Who else do we have? Gaz Vickers is in. Welcome, dude. Speedy Q8. Welcome, Spid. We have... who else has come in? We have David Sanderson. Hello, everyone, he shouts because his caps lock's on. Oops. Hey, David. Don't think I've seen you in the chat before for one of mine, have we? I did say... Alex was asking about... he thinks he's got the measure of us, and I said, can you say broadsword? Yeah, that link I gave you, Alex, go and watch that. You'll understand. Broadsword. It's kind of a thing on my channel now. Who else have we got? We have... I think that's everyone, actually. William Rayborn's in. Good morning, beautiful people. Hope you all crazy kids are doing well. We are all crazy and all fine. Thank you very much. We have... Who's coming just as we started? Dad is in. Well, excuse me. Welcome, Dad. Dad, another one of your mods. Dad is the nicest bloke you'll ever meet, but if you cross him, he'll kick your ass into next week and get medieval on you, so be nice to Dad. Dad's just started. I'm going to reveal the truth. Dad has just started a Bane Blade. I know, a Bane Blade. Ooh, yes. Does anyone know of a good small dry brush that's smaller than the Games Workshop brush? I find the small one too big, says David Sanderson. I would recommend... I know Dad suggested the Army Painter dry brushes. They are very good, and they come in... They come in a glass, actually, at the moment. They come in a glass. They come in various sizes that I can't find the dry brushes. They come in various small sizes. However, I would also recommend, if I can reach over here, from your local arty tarty shop, that's a Army Painter dry brush. They get smaller than that. They're quite nice. I do also recommend some Daler Rowney Graduate chisel brushes, some angle shaders. They get a lot smaller than this. This is just one I picked out at random. They're not cheap. You get these from your local art store, but Daler Rowney Graduates, they are really nice. I use these for my metallic dry brushing as well. Let's see if I can find my favourite brush there's my favourite brush in the world. It's my metallic dry brushing, and it's absolutely battered, but I wouldn't use anything else for dry brushing. So Daler Rowney graduates. They're not cheap because they're proper artist brushes, but they are more than worth it on the last year for years. Candy Graham from Mongo is in. Welcome, Candy. It's Scott Sutherland from Orkney. Is in. There you go. Guthorm says hi. He's a bit out of shot at the moment. Let's have a look. Walter Wilmoth is in. Welcome, Walter. Jamie Brown. Welcome, Jamie. Gaz Vickers. We've said Gaz Vickers hello. Nim Cinder in. Welcome, Nim. It says stickers. Talking about trophies. Oh, I said talking about football. Ugh, people do football in my chat. Oh, I'd say it's not nonsense, that is. Let's have a look. That was chat saying. Dad's apologising to Alec for something, but I don't know what. Apart from tea drinkers, but they're wrong. My big brew today is actually tea. I do apologise. In my defence, my litre cup had coffee in it. It always has coffee in it in the morning, so after a litre of coffee, I don't really want another litre of coffee. Right, so let's have a look. Somebody did ask. Oh, Spiddy Curate says, are you Alex from that Transformer thing channel? We love them Transformer Plus here. Yes. So Alex, it's an ongoing joke in my channel that people call Gunplas Transformers. Never mind. Somebody did ask about the Sazabi group build. I apologise, I can't find the comment now. Somebody asking when I'm going to get back to it. It is an ongoing thing. The group build is in the Boom Hut. Don't forget, if you want to join an awesome Facebook group, it's the Boom Hut, the Model Makers Boom Hut. I shall put a link in the chat. If I can find it, it is there. Where is the chat? The chat is here. There you go. That's the Model Makers Boom Hut. If you've not joined it already, do go and join it. It's the best model making group there is. Dead friendly, no bitching allowed. But we're doing a group build because I started building the Master Grade Sazabi, Ver car, and I'm doing it as a Ver Shanghai Dragons. I'm still going through the parts and sanding them all down. Whoever it was that asked, we will be cracking on with that. I've not started the actual filming proper yet because I'm still sanding and cleaning parts. But the group build is on. The group build's running until September. I'm building the model for George, one of my patrons, and George has started a group build for that very same kit. You can build any kit you want, any Sazabi you want, and he's going to offer a prize. There will be a prize at the end of it. I think it's going to be the real grade new Gundam, but I could be wrong. So do go and join the Boom Hut. I'm not involved in the group build because I'm just busy doing his build, but there you go. Paul from Team Inept is in. Dave at Butcher That Dave. Dave's turned up because he suddenly realised I'm doing an Age of Sigmar. I like Warhammer 40k and Dave likes Age of Sigmar because he's made of nonsense. Dave, look, Age of Nonsense. Right, let's have a look. I'm building a Bane Blade with magnets and LEDs, says Dad. Yes. Right, anyway, let's crack on with some work, shall we? So, Dave says, you're Sunday off work. Well, welcome, Dave. It's nice to see you in the stream for once. Right, so what we've got to do today. Sigmar is obviously superior, says Team Inept. No, it's not. Because 40k has bullets and guns and explodey things. And Sigmar doesn't. Right, anyway, then again, Sigmar does have big dragons. So there you go. So today we're going to make the entire face bonds. We need to make the head, we need to make the wings, and I need to make the dude that goes on the back. So let me start with the parts. As always, I've got my Citadel cuttery things, and I've got my God Hand nippers for the fine detail work. There's my mark. I need to make sure I'm working there, not here. So what I need to do is I need to get parts. David Butch, that model, is doing a 40k apothecary. So wait, you're doing 40k and I'm doing Age of Nonsense. How does that even work, Dave? It's not even normal. It's not even correct. Right, so we need to do the head parts, and the heads are 38, 37 and 40. So let's randomly guess where 37, 38 and 40 might be. Guns, schmuns, if you're proper hard, you'll run up to people and smack them with melee weapons, it says Team Inept. Yes. Oh, I meant to say, before we go anywhere. Oh, no. No, ignore me. Forget it. I just had a brain fart then. Right, so 38, 37 and 40. So I want my visor so I can see. But anyway, how is everyone? How are you all? I hope you've all had a good week. I've had a decent week. I can't think of anything outstanding that I need to tell you about. But I've had a decent week, more or less. Nothing major going wrong anyway, which is always a good start. What we got? 37, 38 and 40. Well, I mean, 37 and 38 are easy to spot because they're just two sides of the head. Thankfully, that one's not too complicated. I'm going to move you out of the way because you're right in the way there, Space Horse. And my camera is in the way of my head. I can see I'm going to get frustrated by my camera today. 37, 38 and 40 is the icky tongue. Where's the tongue device? Where is the tongue? It's not often you have to cut a tongue off a sprue, really, is it? It's not something you have to do very often. Let me put that over there. Doodle 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 doo. Come on, where are you? Where's the mouth tongue? Now you might be wondering, those of you who aren't used to Warhammer, why I don't just look for part number 40. It's because Warhammer kits have no numerical order on the sprue. For example, 99, 107, 45, 43, 61. They make no sense whatsoever. So the best thing is to look for the part rather than look for... There it is. There's his mouth tongue. Look for the part rather than look for the number. Alexa Doof says, it's quite interesting. I've never seen a Warhammer kit unbuilt. They are really, really nice. I absolutely adore Warhammer stuff. I really do. Which reminds me, I'm building a Principality of Xeon army. This isn't part of it, but just in case you want to see them, I have built so far a Xeon Taurox, which you might quite appreciate. Nice Xeon symbology and stripes all over that. We have a Xeon Chimera. Lots of symbols. I made up a whole load of fluff as to why there's like Xeon stuff in the 1 minute. And a Xeon Zaku. This is my Xeon. I showed it on the stream the other day, on Zach's stream. But you might get a better view of it here, a better quality. This is the Imperial Knight I was showing you. The Zaku Imperial Knight. Yeah, it's my pride and joy. I've got to do two more. I've got to do a goof, and I've got to do Char's Zaku as well. So, but I thought I'd show you that because you didn't really get a good look at it on the Gunpla Talk stream. Right, so where are we? So, we have two halves of the bonds. 38, 37 and 40. We've got those done. Awesome, says Alex. Ooh, thank you. Right. Oh, you love the logical sprue numbers then, Alex says Spit. Yes. Right, so I've got the big nubs off. Let's go in for the God Hands. And I've said before, if you've got a lovely pair, if you're lucky enough to have a pair of God Hands, especially with Warhammer kits, don't be cutting them off the sprue with your God Hands, because all you'll do is ruin your God Hands over time. God Hands are they're just the best things ever. You don't want to sully them on big fat Games Workshop sprues. Get the thing off the sprue first with your whatevers, and then come back and tweak them with your God Hands. That's that one there. And also, don't forget, of course, never ever cut from the tip. Always put the nub in a little bit. Go in there. That can go in there. Like, apart from here where I have to cut from the tip because I can't get the... making me look like a fool now, aren't you? Damn it. Got no choice because it's in a little recess. Damn you, wee ball. Got a little bit of a nub on the horns. Get that off. Pink. I was torn whether to do the shouty head, or the just not shouty head, because one's got like a big shouty mouth, and one of them has a closed mouth, which looks pretty cool. But I think I'm going to have to do the shouty head, aren't I? I can't call it the shouty Spess Horse and then not actually give it the shouty mouth, because that would be kind of stupid. I'm here, says Nim. Dries eyes from tears. Silly war movie got me all weepy. She was watching a something or other, I think, on the telly box. Mine have rusted, says Alex. Well, mine are kind of got that tarnish on them. They've got, but I kind of think of it like a patina, because they're not, and it's not damp in here, and they've had these things on, and they've still gone a bit tarnishy. Waiting for tip jokes, says Alex. Yes. Oh, by the way, don't expect to see any snippage today. There was injuries last week because I nipped myself with the nippers because I'm a spoon. Software update will be installed later tonight. That's good. Just don't do it now. iPad. Right, so that's far too big. That needs to be trimmed. Deedle-dee-dee. I would move the camera physically closer in, ladles and jelly spoons, but I'd just bang my head on it constantly, and that would be really annoying. So I might zoom in a bit, but if you zoom in with a digital camera, you get terrible picture quality. So yeah. So anyway, yes. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. I hope you all had an excellent week. As always, Dad has a very important question for everyone. I'll let him ask that. But I hope you've all had a good week. As you know, I have been working on the Master Grade Sazabe. Still sanding, still denubbing. It's taking forever. Still working on that. I'll be doing more live streams. I did do a live stream last week. It was this week, just gone. Did do a live stream the other day that was a patron-only live stream, just for Patreon supporters. I'll probably do another one of those next week. And I've also just posted up the first episode in a new build series, which is my build of the D'Agostini 1/18th scale X-Wing fighter part work. This thing is going to be massive. It's this thing. I mean, ignore the terrible paint job. It looks terrible. But yeah, I've just started that because D'Agostini are very kindly sending me the thing to do. So that's going to be a monthly thing where I'll just do a quick video each month. Well, this first one wasn't quick. I'll do a quick video each month just showing what's in the episodes and get them built up. The reason I chose to do it was because they asked me if I wanted to do it, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But also because I think it will just about fit on my workbench. When I started the big Millennium Falcon, of course, yeah, that was not going to fit on my workbench. And until the day I win the lottery and can afford to get my garage demolished and rebuilt as a studio, model making studio, it's not going to go anywhere. So all the Diagma Falcon stuff is sitting in a cupboard right now, waiting to be built one day. But the X-Wing, I think I can just about fit it. I might have to, move some of my Hobby Zone racks and things around, but I'll get there. Okay, that's that one. We'll get some of these little seam lines removed. What's in your belly and what's on your bench, says Dad. There we go. George says, morning all, just popping in a bit to say hello. My kids has been up sick all night throwing up, so I'm helping her. Okay, sorry to hear that, George, but thank you for popping in. Hope she feels better soon. I've just stabbed myself on the horn. Ow. Hope she feels better soon. Send her healing thoughts from all of us here on the internet. Right, so we've got some seam lines down thorns. We'll just get rid of them. I love this tool. I love this seam line removal tool. It is the best tool in the world. I shall have a look at the bench and belly questions in a moment. Don't forget, like I say, if you want to ask anything, any questions, it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about this or model making or Warhammer or Gunpla. You can ask anything you want. Any questions, I usually answer most of them. Don't forget, of course, as well, although I am sponsored by emodels.co.uk, this show is nothing to do with them. So, I don't care if you use swear words in the chat. You can use big boy Rudy words if you want. How's that looking? You can use big boy Rudy words. I'm not going to read them out because I want to make an income off this video, but you can swear as much as you want in the chat. Just don't be a complete tool, because obviously one of the mods will kick you out. Be nice. No politics and religion, but you can use grown-up language if you so wish. That's there. Doodle-doodle. There's exquisite detail on these head parts. I'll see if I can zoom in a bit. Well, I'll make the head first, then we'll zoom in and give you a proper look. But yeah, it's beautiful detail. This little skin texture. My mind is replete with ways I think I can probably paint this. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Seam line gone with no effort. Yes. I shall have a look at the chat in a moment, see what you're all eating. Remember, when we say what's in your belly, we mean either what have you had for tea or what are you going to have for your tea. Because obviously, depending on where you are in the world, it could be early morning, it could be late afternoon, it could be almost bedtime. If you're in Australia, then it's pretty much bedtime. If you're in the UK, you've had your lunch 2 or 3 hours ago. Oops. Right, so that's one side there. What's chat doing? Okay, we'll just get rid of this little thing here. Yeah, so I've been slowly building up my Principality of Xeon Imperial Army. I did make up some fluff, like I said, some lore, some Warhammer lore as to why there is a Xeon faction in the Warhammer universe and why they are fighting for the Emperor. It's all kind of funny. I won't go into it because it takes forever. But I made it up in my brain and everything. Well, basically, it's just an Imperial army, so Imperial Knights and vehicles and troops and stuff, but with Xeon symbology all over them. There'll be 3 Imperial Knights. The one you saw is just a basic Zaku, so it's knackered and rusted. It's a grunt suit. There'll be a Goof, which will be covered in Rambaral symbology, little symbols and icons, heraldry and stuff, and that'll be a little bit weathered, but not much. And then, of course, there'll be Char Zaku, which will be a nice, clean, bright red and gold and silver Zaku. There'll be a load of Tempestus Scions who will be modelled after Char Aznable's uniform. So they'll all have like red and white touches, but I'm going to repaint those because I hated the way they came out with the base coat, so I'm going to have to repaint those. I've not decided any of the colour schemes yet, but they'll all be like Xeon-based colour schemes. That's the tongue. Right, so let's hear it, says Alex. What, you mean my fluff? My fluff excuse for why Xeon is in the Warhammer universe? Okay, it takes a while. Okay, well, alright, well, fair enough. I don't know if you know Warhammer lore, but basically, I'll do the abridged version. There's a rupture in the warp, and for whatever contrived and convoluted reason, a chunk of the Milky Way from the Warhammer universe gets transposed with a chunk of Milky Way galaxy, with the corresponding chunk of Milky Way from the Mobile Suit Gundam universe, UC timeline. And as such, a big chunk, and it just happens to be a piece of territory where it's controlled by the Principality of Xeon, so a big chunk of Principality of Xeon territory, including sides and various planets and things, just suddenly disappears and reappears in the Warhammer universe. But it appears in the middle of an Imperial area, like Imperial territory. And, you know, the Imperium of Man get aware of this, the Inquisition hears of this, because all the planets and things change suddenly. So they send an Inquisitional team with a complement of Space Marines and all the kind of, you know, usual Imperial Astra Militarum stuff. And they go and check it out, basically, and they find this society that's not existed before, they've never heard of, called the Principality of Xeon. Now, at first, obviously, Xeon are like, who the hell are you guys? Let's just have a big fight about this, because screw this, we're not bowing down to your Emperor. Nonsense to that. However, it doesn't take long for the Xeon to realise that despite the fact that they may have slightly more advanced technology, they're massively outnumbered by the unlimited numbers of the Imperium. And eventually they just kind of are worn down into submission, are subjugated into the Imperium of Man. They're given a choice basically to either fight for the Imperium or just be destroyed and wiped out. And they kind of realise at the end of it, they have no choice. They have to just submit and become part of the Imperium of Man and fight with the Imperial Eagle on their stuff. But, of course, they've got all this technology, like beam technology and mobile suits and things, which is heretical because it's not actually, you know, it's far more advanced than the Imperial technology, and because it's not been made from an STC, of course, it's heretical. So the Imperium confiscates all their equipment and technology, replaces it with Imperial stuff. So whereas before you had Zaku pilots, now they wander around in Imperial Knights, and so on and so on. They use all the weaponry However, I like to put a little twist in the tale and say that maybe not all of the technology was destroyed. Maybe one little Mechanicus cleric perhaps found some technology and maybe didn't quite admit to it. That's not anything to do with the game. That's just a bit of extra fluff. But yes, that's my idea. It's literally a swap between two chunks of the Milky Way. And they get subjugated and they have to fight for the Imperium. So now you get basically Imperium technology, but they're allowed to keep their heraldry and symbols and things like that, and their structure. They're allowed to be reasonably autonomous because they've got their own territory. They just are part of the Imperium now. This fluff is riveting, says Alex. Yeah, I just kind of came up with it. I'm like, why would there be... Because the thing is, it doesn't really matter if you're just playing alongside your mates, but if you go for a proper... If you play a game with a proper like rivet counter Warhammer player, they'll want to know why your people don't look like official colours and why has it got this marking? What does that mean? Because they can be that bad. What is an STC? Is it something to do with herpes? Says Quano Man. No. STCs are... I can't remember what STC stands for. It's a something template construct. It's all to do with the lore of Warhammer that the Imperium of Man doesn't use. They don't invent new technology. They simply reuse old technology. An STC is a machine that builds the technological things from patterns. So it's very, very rare that the Imperium will actually invent new technology. They usually don't. Spid Q8 says, I can't wait for the My Little Pony Warhammer mashup. Spid, for the love of God, don't actually Google that. You really don't want to Google that ever. Trust me on this, because that's old news, that one. Yeah, that's not original. Right, there's the thing. So we've got to get the tongue in here somehow. Apparently it goes on that side. Snicks onto snicks onto there. So we'll go in with the Tamir extra thins. Just a touch. I've bent the end of my brush. Oh, my brush is sticking down too far in the bottle. Oh, fudge. Let's get that on there loosely. Whoops. Oh, gosh darn it. I thought it'd be just fun to come up with some fluff anyway, so I've got that fluff now. I actually ran a competition to come up with a colour scheme for my Imperial Army, and somebody said, do it like Xeon. I'm like, that'll be the winning entry. Okay, so that's there. Do a little bit on this little nubbins, and stick on this side of the bonds. Oops, daisy. And what we'll do is we'll run the glue down here. There's going to be a bit that goes over the top here, around the back. But I'm going to have a big honking seam line right down the middle of the head there. Oh, let me zoom in a bit so you can see. Where's the thing? There we go. I'm going to have this big honking seam line right down the middle there. It's a bit annoying, but we can get rid of that, not a problem. Just got to be careful. I want to glue it so that I can squidge the glue out. But I also want to be able to not obscure all the detail. It's annoying having a seam line right down the middle of the mouth, but it's not the end of the world. So get some glue in there. I'm going to squidge that together. And the glue that squidges out should hopefully fill that gap quite nicely. The Gumpler builders out there amongst you will be more than familiar with this technique. There we go. Squish it together, get myself a grippy peggy thing. So I'm going to have a bit of a dip there. If there is still a ridge or a little gap, I may have to go with a tiny amount of sprue goo. Perhaps, mayhap. We shall see. Alex says, "Oh God, I just googled it, burned my eyes out. I told you. If you, My Little Pony. If you're thinking, I wonder if My Little Pony crossed with, yes, it already exists. You don't even have to ask." Because My Little Pony fans are just like, they're like tribbles. if there's a potential there for a crossover, they've already exploited it. Oh my god, why didn't anyone warn me better? Yeah, you're going to fit into this community really nicely, Alex. Trust me on that. Oh, you're going to fit in like a glove. Say tongue again. Tongue. Tongue. Not tongue. Not tongue. Tongue. I don't like northerners that say tongue. I don't understand that. There's no U in it, in the middle of it. There's a big gap down the middle, and that's really not that great. Have a look and see. It's supposed to have a big gap down the middle. You don't actually get a shot of its head that really suggests that allows you to see, but there is a right big gap down there, so we'll have to carefully hide that, I think. Do some work on that. The rest of it is filled quite nicely there. Yeah, a little tiny touch of sprue glue will fix that quite nicely. Let's have a look. Right, so while that's drying for a minute, let's have a quick look at the chat and see what everybody's saying about their bench and belly. Let's have a look. David Sanders says, belly's empty, but I'm touching up my librarian, who, steady now. Jamie Bowen says, belly roast dinner at 5 p.m, bench to me a 135th M10 Achilles, nice. Quano Man says, the belly's empty and the bench has the next 4 bits of the T800 Terminator build part work. Yeah, if you don't know what that is, it's the Terminator part work. Chris is doing that one. Chris over at Gross Models. And he's doing the X-Wing as well. Talking to Chris, he says, burgers for lunch got to do a little more of the rattle now. Of the rat, even. He's doing the rat and the mouse tanks. Dad says, lots of empty bellies today. Maybe it's too early. George says on his bench is the Master Grade Age 2 Magnum, and in his belly is nothing. I think if you're watching your daughter throw up, you might not have much of an appetite anyway. Paul at Team Inept says, a slew of random Games Workshop kits on the bench, and I just ate a bowl of fruit and fibre because I was peckish. I had a pot noodle for my lunch. Scott Sutherland's got beef stew for tea, and you can probably guess what's on the bench. Yes, I'm going to guess, Scott, something like some Israeli Defence Force armour. I'm going to guess. If I'm wrong, I will give myself £5. People are now swearing. I'm not going to read those out. Mickle Pickle says, belly's empties, and Tamir 148th P51 Mustang. Very nice. Alex says, patootie. I don't think that counts as a swear word, Alex. What about the figure I mentioned 2 minutes from the Deer Hunter? Conversation going on there. Candy Graph from Mongo on the bench. A-Wing Fighter. I have to mix up some paint to match the maroon red colour. Tamiya Hull Red is a really good base red colour for that. Tamiya Hull Red, if you're using Tamiya paints. You might have to mix in a little bit of, say, yellow to brighten it a bit, or black, depending if you want it a bit darker. If you want to lighten it and darken it, add black to darken it, and a yellow colour to brighten. If you add white to it, it'll turn it towards the pink end of the spectrum. If you add yellow, it'll make it brighter without making it less pinky. Nimsindrin is working on her Jester, and as for the belly, Cool Ranch Doritos. Spong says Dad. Flip says Butcher that model. Hero Gundam says Fire Truck. So I assume that means welcome Hero Gundam. I assume that means you're working on a fire truck. Let's have a look. What's chat doing? Chat has gone away from what's on the bench and belly. William Rayborn says Little Debbie cupcakes and building another remote control buggy. That sounds interesting. TK's in. Welcome, TK. He says, back, it's unreal how much stink a 2-week-old produce. I'll say that again. It's unreal how much stink a 2-week-old can produce. Yes. For those who don't know, of course, TK's a brand new dad. Walter Wilner says, herpagonosyphilids. Where are we? Alex is talking about how he's gone blind from looking at the My Little Pony thing. Armour is kindness, my shield is tolerance, my sword is love, in their name let friendship be magic. Barf. Yes. Yes. It's My Little Pony. If you don't barf, you'll die from diabetes. I bet there isn't a Care Bear faction. Yeah, there probably is. I'm a redneck, so I say tang, says Walter Wilmoth. Gaz Vickers says KFC and the belly, and bench is the FX 148 Sea Fury. Very nice. Interzone is assemble Poxwalkers from Conquest issue 9. They are not the last set of Poxwalkers. You will have many more to come. I think you end up making about 20 of them, 25, 30 of them. Yeah, to me a whole red is too dark, but yeah, that's the best base for it, says Team Inept. That's talking about the red for the A-Wing again. Brighten it with yellow. Don't brighten it with white unless you want to go towards the pink end of the spectrum. Brighten it with yellow. Walter Williams working on Walter Williams suggests rot brown or red brown from mission models. Rot brown. Beyond Hope welcome, says, am I the only one who can say belly is empty and so is my bench? It's a bad state of affairs, you need to work on that. Right, so I think I've caught up with the chat. Yes, my belly, on my bench is this. In my belly was, I had for lunch a pot noodle. I had a banana, and then I was still hungry, so I may have accidentally eaten a pot noodle. Because you see, Mama Fox the other day, do you know, we do like every few weeks we'll do like a bit of a shop from Amazon where they deliver all the food and stuff. And I says to Mama Fox, right, I'm trying to lose some weight, so don't buy me loads of noodles and pot noodles and snacks and ice cream. Don't buy me snacks. Just don't do all that. So the order turns up yesterday, and there's like a 48 pack of noodles, you know, packs of ramen, a box with 48 packs of ramen in it, 8 pot noodles, 2 big tubs of burnt caramel ice cream, 2 packs of Magnum lolly bars, 2 packs of Mars bar. I'm like, I just said don't buy all that. I mean, she buys it as much for herself as for me, but not the pot noodles and stuff. I'm like, you bought me the food now that I'm going to have to eat with my face. Because I can't not eat a pot noodle. God damn it. So yes, most unfortunate. Most unfortunate. Right, what's next on the head? So we need to do part 39, 41. 39 and 41. 39 and 41. Do. 39, 41. Again, no idea which is which. So, that's 44. 39 is there. So again, I'm not cutting up to the part with these nippers. These are the Games Workshop ones. I'm not cutting right up to the part. I'm cutting close to the part. I want to do the fine, delicate work with the God hands. That was 40. That was 39. 41 is there. I'll just have to do this off camera because it's a bit... The camera's in just the wrong place when I'm doing things on the sprue. Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Ba-dim-dim. Right, so we'll get those bits cleaned up. Do-do-do. More flesh texture. Flesh. Yes, the first episode of my X-Wing build went up yesterday. I did actually notice, well, it may suddenly disappear because I had to edit a bit out, but I didn't want to re-upload it because it would have like 500 views, so I edited a bit out using YouTube's editing tools, and it might have actually deleted the whole thing, but I don't know yet because their editing tool takes like 1,000 years to finish. So I've already uploaded a replacement video in case it disappears, so I don't know if it has. It might still be there, I don't know. It might just edit the bit out and that'll be fine, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, that's gone up. It is going to be, that X-Wing is going to be massive. But I think it will just fit on my workbench. I mean, you can't see here, it's going to be... It's beyond the camera's, the scope of the camera. Let me zoom out again a little bit. Oh no, it'll be fine. Yeah, it's going to be massive. It should fit, lengthwise it'll fit on my bench alright, no problem. It's the widthwise it's going to be tricky. And that's where, when I'm working on it, when the wings are attached, I may have to like just move my hobbies tool tidies and things just off to one side while I do that. So yeah. David Sanderson says, Bombay Bad Boy Pot Noodle, no other flavours need apply. I would agree, except you've forgotten about chicken and mushroom, which is, of course, the best. Bombay Bad Boy is nice, but gotta tell you, gotta be honest, I mean, I am like an absolute pot noodle aficionado. Pot noodle is my life, but once you've had proper Korean ramen noodles, like, you know, I've got to think of the names now. Somebody throw me some brand names. I've forgotten now. Nongshim. I think Nongshim. The ones with the little sort of fat chicken on the front that looks uncannily like Kim Jong-un. and things like that. When you've had their proper hot and spicy ones that are like, you know, 2 times death flavour. Unfortunately, a Bombay Bad Boy is a bit feeble compared to that, and just tastes a bit processed. It's not anywhere near as good as proper Korean noodles and ramen. So I do like a Bombay Bad Boy, but unfortunately, I actually prefer, for hot and spicy ones, I prefer the Korean stuff and the Japanese stuff. And I have to say, my biggest disappointment ever, well, not really, but one major disappointment, when they released, I've said this before, but when they released, when Pot Noodle announced Doner Kebab flavour Pot Noodle, and I was like, oh, there is a God in heaven, and he's smiling down on me today. And then I had it, and it was just basically Bombay Bad Boy flavour. I'm like, oh, that's exactly the same flavour as Bombay Bad Boy. That's a bit rubbish. It's not very good at all. It's not very good at all. Most disappointed. Right, I'm just going to hold these. If you wonder why I'm putting these up to the camera, I'm not holding them up for you guys. I'm holding them up against the light so I can see if I've got rid of any little dings and divots and scratches. If you've been watching the Sazabi live stream, I actually put as much effort into sanding and clean up on these kits, or on any kit, as I do with, you know, that Sazabi. My cleanup regime is a bit extreme sometimes. Get rid of the seam line. Right down the middle. Right down the middle. So, how many people have we got watching, gang? I'm showing 45. I guess there's probably more. So there's always a lot of people that watch this but don't join in the chat. And we're going to be giving some stickers away later on. So you want to be in the live chat to be in it to win it. And I like it when people are in the chat because you can hang out with us. So to try and tempt people into the chat who are watching it and who could sit there and do chat. Don't forget, of course, if you're watching this anywhere but YouTube, you can click on the YouTube icon down here in the bottom right hand corner somewhere. That will take you to the YouTube page where you can actually join in the live chat. So I'll ask you all, where are you from? This is almost like, anybody remembers AOL from the early 2000s? It's a bit like an ASL check, but without the S and L. It's just the L. I don't care about the A and the S. AS, age, sex and location. Yeah, where is everybody? I'm, of course, in the northwest of England. Up Manchester way. If you want to make things really interesting, tell us where you're from and tell us something interesting about that place. I've got to think of something now. For Manchester, I mean, I'm just outside. I'm in Greater Manchester. So I'm just outside the actual city of Manchester, but I come within Greater Manchester. Although technically I don't. It's a bit confusing. Exactly, I'm not going to say where I am, obviously, literally, but it's a bit confusing because where I am is kind of on the cusp of Manchester, Greater Manchester, and Cheshire. It's a little bit confusing. It's kind of, I get both basically. I get to claim I'm a Manc, but I also get to claim I'm Cheshire stock. So there you go, which is very nice and posh. But interesting fact about my part of the world. If you can think of something, we probably invented it. It probably started here in Manchester. For example, the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, we totally invented that. It totally started here in Manchester. We invented all of it. It's Manchester. Basically, the entire world owes Manchester a massive debt of gratitude. And I'll hear not anything said against that. So there you go. That's my little fact about where I am. Quanam says, you can borrow my DeLorean to get the vid footage back. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Shinran Myun, that's it, says Alex. Yep, Shinran Myun is really nice stuff as well. There's Nong Shim, the Shim Ram Yun, and there's some other stuff as well. I had vegetables and chicken breast slices to my pot noodle equivalents for dinner. This find helps me have more vegetables. Yep, true. I'm not forgetting, of course, pot noodle is all processed soy. It's not actually. I don't actually think, apart from the bits of sweet corn, I don't think there's any vegetable in there. It's all just noodles and soy and stuff, which is fine. I do like me a nice pot noodle. For some reason, Dave Wiseram Gambaka, who's in chat or likes the Chinese chow mein one, which is just, it's nice, but it's not green. Paul Di Tommaso is in. He says hello and good morning from the candy factory here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Welcome. Oh, Canada. I need to... There you go. Some people who are new to the channel might wonder what this thing I have about Canada is. And I often explain it. But essentially, why do you have the like "Oh Canada" as your theme, and why, whenever you mention a foreign country, you always use "Oh Canada" as the music rather than the music for that country. And it's quite simple, really. That "Oh Canada" is just the best national anthem of all of them. And I don't know why. Canada just sounds awesome. I want to go to Canada. It just sounds awesome. It just sounds like the best place in the world, basically. Jamie Bowen says West Country. Is that like that? Like West Country like that? You're talking like down in the pointy bit like that? Is it that kind of accent? I need coffee. I mean a tea. I'm going to clear my throat. 1 second, folks. Coughing my lungs up. Do you know, I've had more coughing since I gave up smoking a year ago than when I actually used to smoke. Near Hull, in a town that's been on TV, says Infested Neptune. Welcome, Infested Neptune. My sister-in-law comes from Hull. And I've said this story before, but my brother sounds like me. My sister-in-law comes from Hull. She's Hull born and bred. And they live in Essex, in Chelmsford. And when I first heard my nephew speak, it broke my brain. Because... what's this bit going? Hang on, let me get these pieces right before I start gluing things on randomly. That needs to go underneath. Because my brother sounds like me, my sister-in-law is a proper Hull accent, and my nephew went, "Daddy, I need the knife. I need the knife, Daddy." I'm like, what the hell is that? Where's that voice come from? It was just a complete shock, because it never occurred to me, of course, the boys, his kids are born and raised in Chelmsford. They're going to sound like they come from Chelmsford. Of course they are. It was really weird. I got used to it very quickly, but it was so funny. My brain had to do like somersaults. I'm like, what? How does that even... What? Oh, what? It was funny, that was. I was like, wow, that broke my brain. So there we go. There's the top bit. I'm using the Tamiya Extra Thin as my cement here. And I'm just gently running a tiny amount into the cracks. Because of this beautiful skin texture, it means that all the joints are pretty much hidden. Not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty much hidden. And if you get a little bit generous with the glue, I need to just sort this brush out. My brush is disappearing inside for some reason. If you get a little bit generous with the glue, with the cement, it can squish out a little bit, and it can hide any little gaps wonderfully. Put the bottom piece on, which goes here. Where does this go? This goes like that. Put that on there. Give you a good slathering. Give him a jolly good slathering. There you go. If I can get the damn thing in. There you go. Throaty bits. So you can do a lot of seam hiding and repair just with the glue you're using, if you use the right glue and if you're careful. Now the thing that frustrates people about me and the way I build is that I am a slow builder. I do take my time. I mean, obviously when I'm doing this show I'm slow because I'm talking to you guys, but yeah, I am actually naturally a slow builder because I take my time. Now, for example, the seam line right down the middle of the mouth here, that's gone already because the glue just kind of squidged the plastic a bit and filled it. Same with the seam line on the top of the mouth, you just can't see it now. This bit here, yeah, that's got a big old seam line. Now that bit there, I can probably file that bit away just to smooth that down a touch, very gently. You can do this quite soon after gluing, but you've got to be very careful not to mess up the texture. So this I can probably sand down very gently. And then use the powder from the plastic I've just filed to my advantage to go over it with the glue again. The powdered plastic will now melt back into the gap and hide that little joint. So when you fill in these gaps, you can just get the plastic, squidge it together, and the glue will sort of, you know, bubble out, and then it'll harden and you can sand it back. But if you want to work faster, you can just do it a little bit like that. Give it half an hour, very gently file or sand it, and then the powder will fill in the gap, and you can just put some more liquid glue over it, and that will then lock it in place and make it basically filling it with itself. So there are ways you can creatively fill little tiny gaps, but this thing on the schnoz here, this gap down the middle, yeah, that's a bit too big and significant, I think, for me to hide. I don't know. It kind of looks like it should be there, but I kind of get the impression it also shouldn't be there. Let's go for it once more. I don't think it's anything I'm going to be able to sand away, basically. I may have to go in with the spruing and gluing. I can't see on any of the promotional material if it has that gap down the middle or not. I really can't see, because you only ever see the mouth from that kind of angle. So, yeah. Arse. Oh well. I shall wing it. I can always put a little bit of sprue glue on it. But I think that completes the head. Let's just have a look. I think that completes the head. Yeah, because that's the... Hey, you know, I can actually build both heads. I can actually build the open head or the closed head. Don't know. I'm torn now. I don't know which one to go for. Let me zoom out again for you, because I'm going to try and put this all together. So we have the space puppy here. Let's just see how this goes together. It goes together. It goes together without me actually reading the instructions, so I'm just kind of guessing it now. Probably not the best idea, eh? Should just read the instructions. Would be better. Is there something else that goes in there first? Am I doing this? Is it got to be? How do you? Where's the? Hang on, with the... Oh no, you just slap it on. Slap it on! Clearly need to know how to do it. Random fiddling and nonsense. This doesn't seem quite... Wait. How is this supposed to work? Huh. Brain. How was that even supposed to... Where's the... Don't understand. Yeah, that's not right, is it? It's upside down, you spoon. Somebody help. It's one of those things where when you get the position exactly right, it will just snicked into place with your happiness. But the instructions, they don't show anything. They show very little of how to actually put it in. Apart from it, that's... It doesn't really show you how it goes on the actual head. So I don't know how that goes together. I don't know how this works. Oh, hang on. Wait for it. General incompetence. Team Inect. Hashtag like and subscribe. I can't help thinking I've done something wrong here, because this is not actually fitting together. Have I done something horribly wrong? How the hell? This is weird. This is very weird now. Have I got a piece on the wrong way around? Have I sponged it up? No. That's correct. Huh. Okay. Weirdness. I don't understand this at all. I actually really honestly don't understand why this is, how this fits together. What the hell? Right, has anybody out there built this? Can you tell me what the hell's going on with this head? Because it really doesn't actually fit. I'm kind of stuck. I don't understand how that is even supposed to remotely fit into that. That makes no sense at all. What? I've never had this problem before in a Warhammer kit. Not ever. I must be missing something out here. I must be missing something. There's no way that can be just a terrible fit. And not... This is really weird. What's the big groove on the bottom of his neck? Says Chris at Gross Models. I don't know. It's like I really don't understand why this won't fit. I'm just going to check through the instructions and see. There's a big groove. There's nothing else that goes on the neck after that. That's the head. The head is on. I've got that on the right way. That's on the right way there. There's nothing else that goes onto the neck here. And the next step is just spamming the head on, but it just doesn't want to go. This is weird. Do not understand. I really don't understand how this is supposed to even remotely fit onto that. And I don't really want to sit here for 2 hours just fumbling with a bit of plastic trying to force it to go together. Because that's not fun for you guys to watch. But I really am at a loss now. I really don't have any idea how that's supposed to fit. Okay, it's supposed to be angled a bit that way. Like that. Which makes sense. Until it doesn't actually fit. Can somebody Google Star Drake head fitting something? Because I really don't know what's going on with this. But I'm going to have to stop. If I can't get this to fit, I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours and fart around with it. I really can't figure that out. Apologies, folks. I have no idea what's going on here. How very annoying and frustrating. Pass. Really got no idea. I'm totally stumped. Looks like something is missing. No? Let's have double checked. Let's double check the instructions. That's the neck assembly. Just 2 pieces. That's that. Nothing goes on the front of the neck after that. Nothing goes on the front of the neck here. That's the legs. Head is left, right and tongue. Horns under the throat. Diddly bomb, diddly bomb, diddly bomb. Nothing goes on the neck from here. How very strange. How very, very strange. Just plonk straight on. It goes on an angle, it's not straight on. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying an angle, but it just won't go on anyway. It just doesn't want to go on anyway. It makes no sense to me. I've never ever had this problem before with a Warhammer kit. Oh dear Lord. It seems to almost start to go in like that and then just refuses to. And I really don't get... I don't understand. I really don't understand how this goes on at all. very embarrassing. You've got to love live stream, says Chris. Yes. I really don't get that at all. I'm totally stumped. But I'm a bit knackered because I don't know what else to build. I don't want to start anything else particularly, but is it just a really tight fit? Have I glued the neck together too well and not left enough space? I really don't know. I don't. There's a little notch cut out there, but I don't know what the little notch is for. There's a little tiny bit of nub. I'll just trim that down. Right, come on. Come on. Don't embarrass me live on telly, you gimp queen. Get on head, get on neck. Get this end attached. The head faces to the right. I'm trying to. Oh, hello. Wait. I don't know how I did that. Oh. Do you know? It's not the first time that I've fumbled and it's just gone pting into place, but I don't know how that suddenly went in all of a sudden when it didn't before. I really don't know. My apologies, folks, for making you sit through that. I was getting quite frustrated and a bit nervous there because I'm like, what the hell do I do if I can't get this to go in? Wow, that is terrible. I'll show you the instructions again in a second, just so you can see how bad the instructions are. Wow, that was truly biblically terrible. And somewhat embarrassing. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. No, I don't. I really don't. And I'm not. So we'll get a bit of cement under there. Oops. To lock it all in place. Thank you for the help there, Dave. Most kind of you, my fellow. Wow, that was a pain in the bum, wasn't it? That was nonsense. That was epic nonsense. Take it off again and sit. No. It faces to the right, you wally. I was kind of doing it to the right, but maybe not enough to the right. I don't know. Wow, that was just nonsense, that was. Because if you look at the diagram and the instructions, it shows you this bit glues here, but you can't see how it exactly attaches on the back of the piece you're gluing on. You can't see, and it looks like it's an angle, but you wouldn't necessarily know. Because you only get to see it like that. So, yeah. Yeah, it's not often you get that, but I've never had a piece been that difficult to get on. Normally they'll go on like magic and you'll instinctively know how it goes and you'll be like, I now understand this now. But that was so weird. I'm going to be generous with the cement over the skin bit here because I'll need to go back and sand that bit and do some scribing on there just to get the skin texture back. But that is on. I've still got to clean up this bit on the nose. So what I'm going to do now... Fubits says, oh, come on, you planned that. It was stage drama. I don't plan anything. Mayfield 001, it just works. It just worked when it worked. Up until the fact it worked. Up until that point, it wasn't working at all. Right, so what I'm going to do is get some sprue goo. I hear these sets are notorious for that. I don't know. This is the first one of these. It's because it's Age of Sigmar nonsense and not actually proper 40. If it was proper 40k, there'd be no problem with it at all. Because, you know, it's just Age of Sigmar nonsense. Right, so what we're going to do now, zoom in a bit for you. Apologies when we zoom in, the quality drops because it's digital camera. What we do have is we have this seam line down the middle of his nose. Let me just make sure that's in focus for you as best I can. I appreciate the focus is not going to be great. But hey. Yes, there's this big honking seam line down the middle. So what I'm going to do is take a tiny amount of sprue goo and just fill that in. So I'll do it first and then I'll explain for any of you what sprue goo actually is. I don't need a lot, I just need a tiny, tiny amount just to fill in that little, just a touch, just to fill in that little line. And that's the trick with sprue goo. You need to mix it thick enough that it doesn't just disappear down into the gap. But you want it thin enough that I can't remember the rest of my point. Yeah, you want it, basically, you've got to get just right so you can apply a tiny amount. You don't want to splodge it on like a big ball because that just makes it a nightmare to fix, to sand up, because we're going to have to sand this back. But you want to make it the right texture. But anyway, if you don't know what sprue goo is, I know most of you do, but in case somebody watching this doesn't know what sprue goo actually is, it's basically Tamiya extra thin with tons and tons of little bits of either polystyrene plastic card or spare bits of sprue just chopped up into little tiny parts. Like, for example, this little bit of sprue here. There you go, it's in. Basically what happens is any surplus plastic you put into the extra thin works by melting the plastic and welding it together. It takes polystyrene, it melts the plastic literally into a sticky goo, and it welds them together when you push them together. And then when they dry, two pieces become one piece of polystyrene. That's how this glue works. When you just dump polystyrene in there, of course, it just dissolves the polystyrene into a liquid. And what you have is basically a bottle of liquid polystyrene. Now, when you put that onto a model, you brush it over the model, the extra thin will flash off and evaporate away, the solvents will dissipate, and what you're left behind with is just a layer of polystyrene that's now fused to the polystyrene on the model. So when that little bead of glue here dries, the glue will flash away. It may sink down a little bit, but the glue will flash away. There'll be a bead of polystyrene filling the gap, and it will be permanently welded to the polystyrene of the kit. And that once that's dried, you can sand it, you can scribe it, you can do what you want, because it's just like part of it. It's like filling the model with the model. It's not filling a model with filler. It's not like plastic filler plastic. It's literally plastic, plastic, plastic. It's just seamless. It will give you the most sculptable, the most scribable, the most sandable filler ever. You have to leave it for a couple of hours before you can do anything with it. Maybe 24 hours if you want to scribe it. But I found that the quickest way to do filling of little tiny gaps like that. If I'd used filler, I'd be farting around with mixing me filler and stuff and making a mess. That is dead easy. The only trick is when you mix it, say just dump in a lot of polystyrene. The only two things to watch for are, first of all, it has to be polystyrene. This glue dissolves polystyrene. Don't put, if you're using it on Gunpla, don't put pieces of frame or bits of spare kit that are ABS, because ABS won't dissolve. It doesn't work on ABS. You have to do it on polystyrene and make it thick enough that when you hold the brush up like that, it makes a bulb or a drip, but it doesn't just drip off. It doesn't need to be water thick. It needs to be stodgy thick, so it doesn't drip. So that can be sanded in about an hour. A couple of hours, that'll be sandable. There was no other seam line on the head I had to worry about, so that's pretty much there. That's the beastie now is pretty much done. I'll zoom out again. Zoom out. That's pretty much the beastie is now done. I don't think there's anything else left to do on him. Apart from the wings. These are the wings, obviously, so we'll get them sorted out now. We'll put him to one side. Have a quick look at the chat. It is 4:15. Everybody's talking about how I couldn't get the thing on. Oh yeah, where is everybody? I asked you, didn't I? Let's have a look. Alex says, Samyang nuclear spicy chicken noodle. I can send you some if you'd like. I'm always happy to accept noodles. I've got some, but I'm more than happy to send more, to have more. Be very kind of you. Yeah, drop me a PM or something similar. Because I need to, if you're going to send me some of that SoundCloud music, I'd be more than happy to take some of that off your hands. As long as it's completely royalty free and copyright public domain, nobody wants money for it, and I don't need to credit anybody. If it's Creative Commons, I need to know if it's Creative Commons to credit someone, but if it's completely like you don't have to credit anybody, it'd be awesome. Let's have a look. Yeah, Jamie Bowman was in West Country. We had Hull. Nim is in Buffalo, New York, and our American football team has been to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row and have lost all 4 times. Yay, Shanghai Dragons. Not quite. David Butch, that model's in Portsmouth, and I can see the masts of HMS Victory from my man cave window. And I don't know, I know you're in Portsmouth, but I just see Portsmouth, and I think you should talk like that. You should be talking, but I know that's like Devon and Cornwall, like, but I think you should talk like that, Dave. But you don't. You don't talk like Phil from Toym Team. You talk like a mank. Crown Man says, I'm like Captain America on your left. Scott, as we all know and love, is in Orkney, home of these little adorable puppers. Says Scott Sutherland says, Orkney Islands with many claims to fame. Yes. Beyond Hope says, Coventry, West Midlands, our sewers were used for the tunnel scenes in the original version of the Italian Job. There you go. Because I asked you for interesting facts, didn't Speedy Kuwait says maybe it did till Manx spewed out the Gallaghers. Yeah. David Sanders says, I'm from Timperley and used to live opposite the back garden of Fox, more or less. Yes, Timperley is famous for Frank Sidebottom and Timperley rhubarb, now living in Poole in Dorset. Now that's right, you're living in Poole now. That really is like that, innit? You got accent like that. Yes, David Sanderson actually used to back onto my house. If I remember rightly, when I used to play synthesizer, he was learning how to play oboe, and we were kind of shouting at each other from garden to garden. I had a synthesizer playing an oboe sound. He was actually playing clarinet or something like that. We were kind of shouting at each other musically. It was quite good. Alex is from Ridgefield, New Jersey, USA, but I now live in Gwangju, South Korea. In 1980, it was home to a massacre of over 1,000 people done by a general who took power by military force. Sad but interesting. Gwangju, I pronounced that wrong. Also, New Jersey, but I pronounced that right. Ellesmere Port, the home... I need to clear my throat again, hang on. Ellesmere Port, the home of the Vauxhall Astra, says Dad. Call Eileen Bilton now on... Yes, I know. Are they? Dad's a Scouser? No. Quick, hide alloys. Jamie Bones says there are at least 50 cider breweries in the West Country. I don't like cider. I've never liked it. I don't know why. I don't know. I think it's because, I don't know, I just feel really deadly afterwards, but... Interzone88 says you can buy pot noodles in Australia. The supermarket has a UK imported food section. I do recommend it. There is a video on my channel. I don't know which. It might be in the how-to playlist. All my videos are in playlists. Click on the playlist thing at the top of the menu and you'll see it won't list all of them. You have to select like created playlists and that lists all. There's like about 50 or 60 different playlists. It only shows about 10 of them. There is a video on how to make the perfect pot noodle. Just do a search for how to make the perfect pot noodle on my channel. You'll find it. Mickle Pickles lives south of Memphis, Tennessee, home of the blues. My brother lives in Memphis, in Tennessee. They've moved a few times, so I don't know where in Tennessee now. But I do have a Collierville Dragons t-shirt. Hoodie, even. Collierville Dragons hoodie. Go Dragons. Although I don't think they're called... No, she's moved. She's gone to university now and she's got some other team now. And good barbecue, says Nim. And Mickle Pickle says the best barbecue. Jamie Bone says, question, what's the closest colour to Tamiya XF61 dark green in either Humbrol or Citadel paints? Let's have a look. Let's do it live on telly. Can you see? Oh, I'll turn the tablet off. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I'll turn the brightness up so you can see. There we go. I'll zoom in a bit. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. So it's going to be a rough calculation here because obviously it's not going to be spot on accurate with the glue. Was XF61. So let's have a look at Tamiya XF61. Tamiya XF. I could just use the keyboard, it'd be a lot easier, but 61. Doodle 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 doodle. Dark green. Okay, that's a real dark green. Okay, Citadel paint wise, it looked black to you on screen here, but it's a very, very dark green. Okay, so Citadel wise, doodle 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 doodle. I would say I would say Caliban green. Looking at Caliban green here, but where's Caliban green? Caliban green, bomb, but Caliban. I want to get a. Okay, I would say actually Caliban green, which is what I was thinking anyway. Caliban green is probably a reasonably similar colour. It's maybe a bit got a touch too much yellow in it though to be exactly the same. So it's not going to be exactly the same. Can I get a better? It's not going to give me a. I would say Caliban green, Caliban. Caliban green is probably about the closest. However, it would benefit from, when you get the Caliban green on there, you might then want to counteract it being a little yellow. It's got a little tint of yellow that maybe the Tamiya hasn't. You can always go over it with the shade of Null Oil or something like that, or even a thin wash of something, or a filter of some sort, just to change the tone and darken it a little bit. But it's probably about the closest it'll colour. Vallejo I can't tell you because I haven't got that kind of colour for Vallejo. Humbrol I wouldn't know because I'd refuse to use Humbrol paints. Snowman says, need to jump all, have a good one. Thanks for coming in. Oh, which reminds me, folks, stickers, because I'm going to do stickers in a minute. I have now sent out all the people waiting for stickers in the UK. They've all gone. We have a much smaller pile of stickers now, yes. So I have sent out all except one person who I was waiting to confirm who they were. Who was that? Who it was. Yes, I was waiting for one person to confirm their address. But yes, all the UK ones have gone out now because the post box at the end of my road. I've still got all the outside the UK ones to send off. Dragonhead looks awesome, says Paul. Thank you very much. It does look rather awesome, doesn't it? Gross Model says, just draw the bloody owl. It's an old joke. Thy Creator is in. Welcome, Thy Creator. Beyond Hope, have you used the parts for the closed mouth head on the open mouthed head? No, apparently, I've just looked at the instructions. I technically could still make the closed head. You've got the two halves there, the top horn, and the... Sorry, I'll do it there. The two halves there. Where's the camera now? I've lost it already. Two halves there, the top bit and the bottom bit. So you could actually make... You can still make... I could if I wanted to have magnetised it, but there's not really much point. But you can do the closed mouth or the open mouth. I was torn between the two. I wouldn't really get away with doing the closed mouth because that's the lazy option. Let's have a look. Might give out. Talking about the head. Paul Di Tommaso says he played the alto and baritone sax in high school. Over the course of the last 20 years, well, up till about... I used to play... For about 15, 20 years, I played synthesizer. I used to record my own music. Had various recording setups. I was very influenced by Jar and Vangelis and things like that. But as well as that, what I used to do occasionally was, at one point, I got myself a little cheap violin to play, and then learned that because I can't bend the ends of my fingers, because of the thing I can't remember the name of, grippo something or other, I can't bend my fingers, I can't properly get my hand on the strings. Same with guitar, I can't quite do that. I also had a saxophone at one point and never got round to learning how to play it. And I have under this very workbench, down in the corner on the floor, under a pile of dust probably, is a clarinet that I put together once and then tried and then never tried again. I meant to get some lessons, but I never did. Because I wanted Oh, hello. Alex says, right, past midnight for me, I'm off to bed. Catch you all later. Thanks for coming. I know you've probably gone now. Thank you very much for coming in. Nice to see you. Do remember, folks, go and subscribe to Alex's channel. It's a really good channel. And he does do moderation for Zach over at Zach Aurelius when he does his live stream. So have a look at Zach's channel as well. But yeah, go and subscribe to Alex's channel. William Rayborn is in Mobile, Alabama. That is correct. It was a clarinet, says David Sanderson. Earl D is in. Welcome, Earl. Oh, Alex is going to miss the stickers. Oh. Well, if he's gonna send me out, I might send him some stickers anyway. What was that? What else? Stegodon Scale Green, says David. Butcher that model. Oh yeah. Maybe Stegodon Scale Green. I don't know. Caliban Green is quite a dark military green, so that's quite a nice dark one. But maybe. Anyway, that's what we're up to. So yes, I need to figure how. I need to send Alex a message then so he can send me some musics and things. Right, what time are we on? It's 4:30. Let's do some stickery giveaways. I do feel sad that Alex is gone now because I can't give him he can't have a chance to win a sticker, but never mind. Let's do some stickery giveaways. As always, it's that time of the show. I've gone all chaotic now because I was struggling with that head. It's that time of the show when we're going to do some giveaways, so you probably find the chat and the stream are out of sync. So before we do anything, you need to refresh your browser and drag the slider to the side. So refresh and drag, refresh and drag. And today, thanks to a livery from Dad, we have some more Scaly Model stickers. Yes, we're back with the Scaly Model stickers. Dad's channel, Scaly Models, like and subscribe. We'll get that on there. So we're going to write our words on the back. On this one, we're going to write the word big. On this one, we're going to write the word fat. On this one, we're going to write the word butts. I don't know why. There you go. Big fat butts. Yeah, I don't know. I can. It's almost swearing, but not quite. So, we're going to do some stickery giveaways. Now, I'm going to move the iPad so I can see the questions we may have been sent. Let's have a look and see if we've been sent any questions. Where's the app? Email. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Okay. Right, we have. Okay, I'm going to do two questions for the Nim sent in. And if you've sent me questions and I haven't used them yet, don't worry, I'll still use them at some point. I've got them piled up. I'm going to use 2 questions that Nim sent in, and then we'll do a classic number on the hand job. Right, so give me 1 second. We've got to find it first. Okay. Now these are going to be Google food questions. You might know it anyway. So let's find out. So, is everybody ready for the questions? I need to get the chat ready, don't I, as well? Hello, that may be handy. Hang on, let me move all the things. Move the space puppy there, and we'll move this so I can go backwards and forwards between the two. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Right. David Budge, that model says, I must not answer, I must not answer. Right, is everybody ready? Okay, question 1. Remember, this is the first person to get the answer right in chat. Now, don't forget, of course, that just because you're first on your screen doesn't mean you're actually first on the actual chat. I see the chat in the order that YouTube receives the comments from your computer to them. It can take a second or two to get there. So because you're first on your screen doesn't mean you're first in the actual final chat. So don't be disappointed if you're first on yours but you don't win. So anyway, right, ready? First question. What is the collective noun, or the name, for a group of puffins? Go. Now, there can be a few of these. I'll go for the first one that's correct, but there are several options. The collective noun for puffins. Soup. Gross. Chris says soup, and Jamie Bone says murder. Moida. It was Moida. There's about 4 different names. Thy creator is in with burrow, and burrow is one of the correct answers. It also says circus or colony, or Print Guru says splodge. I like the sound of splodge. Yes, the answers are a group of puffins has many collective nouns, including a burrow, a circus, a colony, an improbability, which I quite like, and a puffinry, which I'm sorry, a puffinry just sounds lazy. So, well done, Thy Creator. You can now choose a stickery sticker. Would you like big, fat, or butts? Which would you like? Or would you just like a dad sticker or one of my stickers? So everybody sit there and sit quietly and do say nothing until Thy Creator chooses which one they want. So which one do you want, dude? For some reason... Thy Creators, can I have Dad's sticker, like and subscribe? And it blocked his comment. I don't know. Which one? Do you want big or do you want fat? Or shall I just choose for you? I'll just choose for you. Good choice, says Dad. Kel surprise. I'll just mix them up randomly. Got to go now, foods. Might be back in a bit. If not, I should be in Chris's stream. Okay, thanks for coming in, Jamie. We shall see you, or I'll see you later on this evening, because I'll be in Chris's stream chat. I'll pick one at random. There you go, Scaly Models. You get fat. Sorry. If I create it, you get fat. I mean, I get fat dead easily, but... Thy Creator. There we go. So I'll put that to one side. Remember, if you do win a sticker tonight, or today, send me an email. My email address is always there, fox@modelmakingguru.com. And just send me your name and your address. It's very important as well. If you do send me an email with your name, just make sure you put down what your YouTube name is. Because if, for example, if your YouTube name is XXO Sniper 35XXO, when I get a mail saying, "Hi, I'm Bob Smith and I want a sticker," I won't have any clue who Bob Smith is. So make sure you put down what your actual YouTube handle is as well, so I know who you are, because I've got my pile of things to send here. UK ones I'll get sent out fairly quickly. Outside the UK I need to go to the post office. I don't go to the post office very often, so there you go. Speedy Q8 says, "I used to play the triangle in reggae band at school. I'd stand at the back and ting." What? I don't know. Right, next question. Is everybody ready? It's another Google Foo question. There we go. Next question. You can win some butts or you can win some big. We've gone from big fat butts just to big butts now. Right, so next one. What is the name? What is the collective noun for foxes? Go. Again, there's 3 options here. The collective noun for foxes. Go. These are from Nim, who sent me these questions. Doodle 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 doodle. I used to stand at the back and ting. Where did that come from, Spit? What's that all about? Doodle 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 doodle. There we go. I've got your mail, Vice Creator. So what we got? LD says a Garrow Shant. I don't even know what that is. Remember, I go off the answer I've been sent. So if there's an option there that's not in the answer, I can't accept it. I don't check it. Paul, it's not a widge. And Thy Creator is in again with leash. He did say shulk, but shulk's a misspelling. It's like Thy Creator's panning everybody tonight. A group of foxes referred to as a skulk, a leash, or an earth. So there you go. Yes. So well done, Thy Creator. That's another one. Do you want big or do you want butts? Bearing in mind that one is model making guru and one is scaly models. Which one would you like? Dad sticker again. Oh, both of them. Okay. Thy Creator. I've got loads of stickers to send out to outside the UK, and I think, to be honest, mate, yours is going to be the fattest envelope. Oh dear. Where are we? That's that one there. Right, Dad's saying woohoo. Right, so I've got one sticker left. Somebody's going to get butts. Sorry. I'm going to write a number on the back of my hand. You know how it works. Thy Creator says like and subscribe to Dad. Yes, you should like and subscribe to Dad. I'm going to write a number on the back of my hand. You know how it works. And I want you to guess the number. It is between 742 and 752. Go. Between 742 and 752. Do doodle 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 dick doodle 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 doodle. Dude, guys, you're all just far too damn slow because Thy Creator just steamed it again. I mean, obviously just by typing in one number off the other. There you go. Why do I get the impression, Thy Creator, that perhaps you're a bit of a gamer with the keyboard because you're very fast on the number pad there? Well, yes, Thy Creator gets it right with... Oh, no, that's the wrong ones. Sorry. 746. Yes. Do you like that joke? Do you like that? Never mind. 704. I had that on my hand for ages hiding it, and it's not even a good joke at the end of it. 746. So Thy Creator, well done. I'll just send all 3 of those stickers to you. Thy Creator. There you go. So you don't send me 3 emails, dude, but just send me another one saying that I owe you the other 2 as well. And don't forget, obviously it's just you today that's won them, but if you do win stickers and you win, say, more than one, send me an email for each sticker you win, because I treat my inbox, my email inbox, as the to-do list. So if I've got 5 things from you saying I need to send you a sticker, then I know there's 5 things I need to send out to you. So there, I'll just close my email down because you don't need to see other people's email addresses. There you go. Yeah, I've been hiding my hand for ages with that. I was going to I left it on screen for too long. Never mind. Right, so thy creator like big butts and he cannot lie. Some other brothers would deny. So I'll move that over there. So well done to thy creator, who just totally I could have just sent you all the stickers anyway. There you go. Now we've done the head. Bonce is done. There we go. It looks pretty. Oh, I like that head. He's kind of going. Rah. It's going to be challenging painting inside the mouth area, but it's going to be fun as well. What's next? Next is the wings. Need to get the wings done really quickly. You know, I'd never thought. I put that on my hand. I should have made it an even better joke and made the number like 815, shouldn't I? I never. Do you know? I could never do that joke again now, ever, and I just kind of blew it. Sadness, ultimate sadness. Right, I think the wings should be fairly straightforward. It's basically that goes on there and that goes on there. I think there's one other piece that needs to go on the wings. I think. Beep, 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 beep. Right, so we'll get the wings done first. Trot and Charge, welcome dude, says, love building and painting this Space Dragon. I'm looking forward to painting it. It is just going to go, sadly, onto the shelf of primed models. This is me just clearing out space, basically, get rid of lots of things in boxes. Pre-building and priming as much as I can for painting later on in the year. When I do build and paint this, it'll be up for sale. I'll be building it to sell it, so... Because I have no interest in Sigmar myself. And it's a very beautiful kit that I would actually quite like to keep for myself. But I also want the money. So there you go. Right, so that was 46. I'll make sure I get these the right way around before I start just cutting things off willy-nilly. Willy-nilly! 46 and 47 I need. Let's just randomly look and see where 46... Is it going to be on the same... Oh, yes, it is. It's on the same place. If you're out of the way. Go on, sit there. 46 and 47. Diddly bomb, diddly bomb. Super match game. That's there, knocking the camera, thank you very much. 46, 47, and... Well, we'll see which one it is that I need. There's the third bit. I've got one bit over here that fell off the sprue, or that I cut off back, so I know where that needs to go, so we'll worry about that later. So we'll get these cleaned up. Built mine for the missus' birthday. She was well chuffed. It is awesome. I mean, look at that. It's a big space puppy. It is kind of awesome. I'm going to enjoy painting it. Just move this and zoom out a little bit for you again. There we go. Get these cleaned up. Doodle-doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Whenever you see someone painting this, it always looks super easy, but in reality, it's not, probably. Like you watch Duncan's little guide on how to paint the wings. Yeah, I bet it's not that easy. You know what I'm going to do? While I'm here, into my sprue goo with you. There you go. Be gone with you. That's how you make sprue goo, folks. If you want to be really clever when you're making sprue goo, what you can do is, if you've got the budget for it, I did this with the big Eagle Transporter. Make some sprue goo from the actual sprue of... If you're making a really big kit that's got a lot of sprues, make sprue goo from the plastic of the kit. So get the sprues that you haven't used, and the parts you haven't used, or the sprues themselves, once you've got all the parts off. And actually make sprue goo from that. And just that. Because then the awesome thing then is you're not just making sprue goo to, you know, generic sprue goo. You're actually filling the gaps on a kit with the kit's own plastic. And if it's all like a monocolour kit, like everything's white, say white plastic, you could actually end up with no complicated filling to do, because you're filling any gaps with polystyrene from the kit itself, and it will be invisible. It's always worth... It's always worth... think about that. If it's a big massive kit, and you know, if you're making a little tiny kit, it's not worth sacrificing a whole bottle of extra thin just for that. If you're making, like, you know, a 1/35 tank or something, but if you're making something massive like that big Eagle or something where you're going to have a lot of parts, it's kind of worth it. Doesn't make any difference. It just makes life a bit easier, that's all. If you're making Gumpler, for example, it might be, if you're not intending on painting it, you could theoretically, say you've got a red piece, you might have a little bit of gap in a red piece, you could fill it with sprue goo made from that red polystyrene, and just that red polystyrene, fill the gap, sand it back, and polish it up nicely if you weren't painting it, and you wouldn't know because you wouldn't see the gap. It would be filling it with itself. Be not quite as perfect as that, but it might work, you never know. It's porno blue sprue goo, lol, says Quano Man. Yeah, it's I think it had a lot of the blue plastic from Warhammer Conquest in that. Hence it went a bit blue. What's that there? Got a big pile of tools here that everything's in the way of everything else. There we go, that's better. Now there is a seam line on here, but it's kind of where it's going to get glued into place. Because that's going to go there. So you're not really going to see that seam line. That's another invisible line. Oh wow, that's nice, that. Almost invisible. Almost invisible. So I can put that on there, and I can just dead gently fill some glue over it. I can be a bit generous because it will soften the gap anyway. A little bit generous. I can't see the gap on that side. There it is. Get some under that. Lovely. Squish that down. And there'll be just enough little bit of polystyrene splooping out that it will start to fill that little gap a little tiny bit. But because it's hidden in a scaly skin texture, of course, you can't actually see it. It becomes invisible. Like the dreaded Bubi Gorgor becomes invisible. There you go. Beautiful. She's right, mate. There. Lovely. Yeah, so I have no great desire to. I'll never play Age of Sigmar. I haven't played 40k yet, but I've got no interest in actual playing Age of Sigmar. But I do, I do agree there are some fantastic models in that range. Dave and the guys and Dad and that sent me a horsey carty Stella something or other that I've got to build. That looks pretty fantastic. I've got this, which looks fantastic, and there's some others that I've got in my will build at some point list. But I don't have no interest in playing it. I'd either build them for my own collection or I just sell them once they're painted and built. Will you stay there? Bit of a little seam line, but not a major one. I'm getting a nice breeze coming through the open window. It still looks kind of orange outside. It's very weird. It's not like dark, but it's that kind of like not bright sunshine, but it's cloudy, but the light still comes through, so it's kind of orange, which is weird. Just going to sand this down a little bit. Do. There we go. Hold up to the light. Is it looking pretty good? Ooh, still a bit rough. A bit rough around the edges. Get a bit of foil in action. A little bit of a tiny raised section where the nub was. Just a tiny amount. So the file can make quick work of that. And there we go. Lovely. It's pretty darn good. I think that's a bit of gold trim, so I need to make sure it looks nice and spanky. Spanktacular. I've got an old... Stop, you stay there. I've got an old sanding sponge here that's been worn a bit smooth, and that's nice for just finishing off without polishing. That should look... it's not the best in the world. It's just, there's still a bit of a little sort of raised bit where the nub was. Like a little dimple or depression. Kind of annoying. So we can flatten that down even more. Simon Reynolds says that model is an arse to paint. Hey Si, our Lord and Saviour Kevin is in. I don't know, it might be alright. It might be quite good fun. I can imagine it would be an arse to paint, but I don't know. Depends how well I want to paint it, I suppose. If I want to paint it like simple level, it'd probably be alright. It's a scorching 37 degrees C out here, says TK, over in the Dutch land. I meant the black coach. Oh, no, it's not that one. It's not the black coach. It is... it's not. It's like a... Yeah, no, it's like a... It's kind of like an astrolabe. It's like a planetary thing on a... I don't know. Somebody explain it. I can't remember what it was. It's not the black coach. What was it, Dave and Dad, that you sent me? I can't remember what it was now. It's away in the corner over there. I can't quite get to it, so... Never had the pleasure of a Star Drake, says Si Reynolds. Nah. Fox dear, you've missed some of the chat. Wait, what? It's a Star Drake, love. Lol. Never fear, your saviour Kevin is here. Oh, I see. Fox, the black coach is one for you to put on the to-do list. It's an amazing kit to build and paint. Oh, I get you. Unless you paint it like... in the video that went up today or yesterday, where they do the ghost effect, which is a few rattle cans and then a bit of a new contrast paint, monochrome, whatever. Still not got quite used to that new guy doing the videos. I'm feeling withdrawal from Duncan doing painting videos at the moment. I have to be honest. His answer goes, that ghost effect. Yeah, it's not. I mean, no, it's not. I think that's aimed at the real beginners. And can I just say, what's the new guy's name on Warhammer TV? I've forgotten his name. I can't remember his name. Anyway, yeah, he's good. He's nice enough. But can I just put a big red flag on his in spray can technique? It's like, that's not how you use a rattle can from like an inch away and doing it in little bursts. No, it's not how you use a rattle can. It triggered me, that did. I was triggered. There was triggering, and triggering did occur. And Si Reynolds says that video made him unhappy. He's like, hey guys, we just invented this technique. It's called monochrome painting. No, dears, that's just zenithal highlighting. Yeah, it is. I watched that and I was like, isn't that just like kind of zenithal priming your model? Kind of just to get that kind of highlight lowlight effect. Dad says, yeah, I thought that too about his spray. And he says, yeah, Fox's rattle can technique was AIDS. It's like, oh, yeah, Duncan's is bad enough, but no, it certainly triggered me. He's alright as a presenter. He's quite personable. It's just, no. I know he's still finding his feet, but yeah, no. That's not how you use a rattle can. Peachy is better, says David Butcher, that model. Brackets, that opened a can of worms. I'm getting used to Peachy now. I've got used to Peachy. I like Peachy a lot, especially in like the Warhammer Live shows and stuff where they do the painting with Peachy. I like Peachy a lot. He's got a great sense of humour. It's just, for a long time, watching the way he painted was stabbity. Like, let's do this, painting it now. And I'm like, I can't watch. For a long time, it took me ages to get used to him painting with his left hand. I couldn't get used to it at all. I'm like, I don't know why. It was weird. I'm like, I can't watch this. It's weird. But yeah, it's more, I realised afterwards it wasn't because he's left-handed. It's because he's got this stabbity painting technique. after watching Duncan smooth things on and delicate, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's paint this thing, let's paint it." I'm like, "Oh, I can't watch that." It's doing things to me that I don't want done. Simon says, "A nice chap who used to run the Warhammer community site, pops up on Hangout and painting the streams a lot too." Yes, I forgot what's his name. I can't remember his name. Seems like a decent bloke. It's just that that spray thing. Oh no. I'm just missing Duncan, I think. I'll tell you what I am missing on Warhammer 2. I'm missing proper 20-30 minute long painting guides. That's what I'm missing. Because I appreciate the fact that going for the... Well, they started off doing the at least one video every day, like the little quick, painting quick question things. That seems to have faded a lot now, and it seems to have devolved into, let's just kind of just have lots of videos for the latest thing we're selling, which is fine. But I'm missing my, proper long form painting videos. Oops. And I'll be honest, the live Warhammer TV shows, the Hangout and Paint, they are fantastic if you're playing Elite Dangerous. Just have them on in the background. They're actually good watching when you're doing something else. But yeah, it's the long form stuff. I miss the long form stuff. The little tip of the day is they were great, and they were supposed to be every day, but they seem to have faded away now. And it does seem to be more, they're just relying on, here's a video for this new release, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. It's just, let's have some more painting guides. I like the fact this kit is coming out and you're doing me a little 30-second teaser, but where's Duncan painting a thing for 25 minutes? It's a shame, because there's lots of kits out there I'd like to see them paint. I'd like to see him paint, him or Peachy paint, and you're just not going to see it. Because they're constantly going to be on the back foot now to paint the big new hotness, rather than stuff like this. The Star Drake would have been a good how to paint this damn enormous creature, but all you got in the end were 4 little tip of the day ones, which were all right, but they don't tell you everything. And I don't look at those videos to take the idea and say this is how you. I like it just to get inspiration for colours and things like that. That's how I watch those. I'm like, oh yeah, I never thought of that particular colour. So, and they're just fun to watch. I literally can't remember his name, Fox. Honestly, I'm getting PV people thinking Contrast is some miraculous paint system that Games Workshop has developed. It's just a sodding glaze range. They are great, but yeah, I've not tried them yet. But I think the thing to bear in mind is though that if it was, say, a Vallejo game colour range, or what have you, then it would just be, it's a new glaze range. There you go. Lovely. But I think the thing you have to remember is, with Games Workshop, is they're angled towards the non-modeler, a lot of people who build GW stuff and use GW paints won't even know what Vallejo is. They won't have ever bought anything that's not on the shelf at the Games Workshop store. And they're catering to them. So those kind of people, they're not even going to know what a glaze is necessarily. If there's a lot of, just pure, inexperienced or younger builders that just rely on whatever's on the shelf in Games Workshop, they don't necessarily know about the technique. So to them, it might be revolutionary. And they're obviously going to advertise it that way. But yeah, to me and you and everybody else who is aware of other paint brands, they're just glazes. They're really nice. It's like a glaze and an ink crossover, isn't it? Let's have a look. Thy creator says, Fox, how do you keep your brush tips soft and together? Because I use it once and it just hardens and splits, so I have to throw it away. I'm going to say now what everybody else has probably just already said in chat. I haven't read it properly yet. So here are the basic tips. First and foremost, never, ever, ever, I'll get a brush. First and foremost, you never store it that way down. Never store it brush down. Unless it has a plastic tube. If it has a plastic tube, you must keep the plastic tube and always store it tip down, because that plastic tube stops the tip doing that. If you store this like that down, then that tip gets bent, and when you use it again, it'll be permanently that shape. It just makes all the bristles splay out. The second thing you want to do is, whenever you're painting, you want to make sure, as much as possible, you are pulling the brush, not pushing the brush. If you see people painting and all the bristles are sticking out like this after a couple of minutes, it's because they're pushing the brush, they're pushing it into paint, they're smashing it against a flat surface, they're banging it into the palette or whatever they're using to get, and that makes the bristles go out like that, and then when you're painting they're going to stick out. So always, as best you can, be pulling the brush when you're getting paint on. Not when you're painting, obviously you might need to, but as much as you can, even when you're painting, try and be pulling the brush, not pushing the brush, and not stabbing it, unless it's a stipple brush and you've got to do stippling. You want to be pulling it. Always be rinsing the brush out as you're going along. Make sure when you're rinsing it out, you're not jamming the bristles on the bottom of your water cup. When you finish painting with it at the end of the day, you want to get yourself some brush soap. There are different brands available. I use the Masters brush cleaner. It's fantastic stuff. It smells like lemons. It smells like lemon. It smells exactly like lemon cheesecake. I want to eat it. And all you do is when you finish at the end of the day, you give your brush a wash, and that's basically soap, and you massage it through, and you rinse it off, put it to a point, and you store it. And like I say, if it's got a plastic tube, always store it that way. Store it bristles down if you've got a tube, because even when you clean it, if you clean your brush and then you store it upright like that, all that water that's got all the gunk left on it will run into the ferrule, which is this metal bit, and it'll harden. If there's any paint residue, it'll go into there and it'll harden. And as it hardens, there's the bristles. As the paint hardens, it pushes them apart. And that's when you end up with brushes that splay out like that, because all the bristles, they might be clean up here, but inside here, they're all pushed apart by paint residue. So always clean it. Get yourself a good brush soap. And instead, all you do, a little bit of ever so slightly warm water, you get the brush, you give it a rummage round, you give it a good massage, rinse it off, dry it like when you dry the brush as well. When you dry the brush, get some tissue. I'll just use some bog roll, but when you dry the brush, you don't do this, you don't twist it, you get the brush and you just run it again, you pull it like this, but you can twist it a little bit to make a point, but ideally you want to pull it in a straight line, because if you pull it and twist it like that, you're making the bristles twist round. You want the bristles to be as straight as they can, but in a point. This isn't the best brush to show you, but you want to, again, just between the two fingers under there, just run it along. Don't squeeze and pull. Don't do this. You want to pull the brush along. If you squeeze like this, you can pull bristles out. So don't put it tip down unless it's got a plastic tube. Don't jam it into the bottom of your paint cup. Don't stab, drag. Get some brush soap. And if it has a plastic tube, always store it that way down. Always, even if it's just been cleaned out. If it hasn't been cleaned out and you've not got a tube, either get a brush rack so you can hold it, that'll hold it in place like that, or if you've not got a brush rack, get some clothes pegs or little clips of some sort, and off the side of a shelf, just arrange so you can somehow have them hanging. I actually hang these. I've got these little things, little clips, and I actually hang these off I clamp it to the edge of my spray booth, so it's like that, but then I'll jam the brush in there and I'll push it forward till it holds the brush in place. That didn't, obviously, but any clips like that, just some way of holding them up in the air while they dry, just away from the surface. Don't lie them like this. I mean, while you're using them, you probably will do, but when you finish for the day, don't lie them down when they're wet, because again, the water will collect in the ferrule, and that's when it starts to push brushes apart. And the last tip, don't stab, don't do this. Also, when you are getting paint on the brush, don't get paint, if you can avoid it, try not to get paint further than halfway up the bristles. Again, try and avoid, don't just get the brush in the thing and cover the whole thing. If you're getting paint all the way up the ferrule, you're jamming paint into the ferrule. You want to make sure at least you're only getting paint maybe halfway up the bristles. You get it up there sometimes, but try as much as you can to just get a little bit of paint and get it maybe halfway up the bristles. If you're covering the whole brush in paint anyway, you're picking up too much paint. So yeah, just be careful, take care of them, pull them, don't stab them. get yourself a decent brush soap. That will fix 50% of your problems. Just by, at the end of every day, clean them with the brush soap and a little bit of warm water. It's dead easy. It smells delicious. And make it an absolute habit. There have been times when I've left it for a day or two and forgotten, and my brush has been crusted in paint. I've put that stuff on it and it's got rid of it. But the trick is, you want to, as soon as you finish for the day, give it a good clean, give it the brush soap treatment, and make sure you're not letting them sit for hours and hours and hours with paint. Because once you've left it overnight with paint crusted on, it's kind of going to be it most likely will be not fixable. If it's a shade like normal oil, it will ruin your brush. So there you go. I won't read through all the comments because they're all kind of saying the same thing. Master's brush soap is the bomb, says David. What's that model? Your paint is drying in the ferrule, as people have suggested, says Simon Reynolds. Yeah, if your bristles go like that, that is 100% of the time paint in the ferrule. It's paint. Let me find a bigger brush so you can see it better. It's got a big brush. Imagine that was a pointy bristle brush. If that suddenly went like that and was splayed out, it is 100% paint in this metal bit. That's why you don't get paint more than half at the bristles, and you try not to jam paint like that, and you always clean it out. And always store it this way. If you have got paint up there throughout the course of your day and you've been painting, then when you rinse it all out and you clean it with your brush soap and you store it like that, hanging up or in a tube, the water will run down to the tip of the brush and take all the paint residue with it, and it'll ferry it all away. If you do it that way, it'll just go back in there. So always store it that way up once it's wet. In water, because I do that, but the paint doesn't come off, says thy creator. You can't clean your brush out in water if you're using a lacquer-based paint. That's just for water-based paints. Simon Reynolds says, I personally use a different brush to get paint out of a pot. I do as well. These are all my nice brushes, almost nice brushes, but this one is my spatula brush. This, when I'm putting paint onto my wet palette, I only use this brush to get the paint out of the pot. These are all for painting. This is for spatulaing. So yeah, have a spatula brush ready. It's usually an old brush you don't care about. I still clean it anyway, but it doesn't matter. It's an old brush you don't care about, and that's your getting paint out of the pot brush. But yes, you want to, as I say, basic thing is keep it clean. If it's a water-based paint, you can have your pot of water. Also, when you've got your little pot of water as you're painting, clean your brush out, don't use warm water, use cold water. The only time you ever want to use warm water with water-based paints is when you're using your brush soap at the end of the day, and that's only ever so slightly warm. When you're just painting normally and you've got your water pot there and you're doing stuff, have cold water, because warm water can break down the glue inside the ferrule. Because the way a paintbrush works... Where's my pen? Yeah, let me zoom out. Where's my zoom control? Let's do some zooming in. The way a paintbrush works is you've got the ferrule here, which is that bit, the metal bit. There's the wooden handle here. And then you have the bristles, which you see that bit. You see that as the brush there. However, there's all the hair is in here. All those hairs are in, and they're usually looped around as well to keep them in place. This ferrule is full of all the bristles, and it's got glue in it that holds it in place. And you're just seeing half of that sticking out. There's your paintbrush there with some paint on it. So, if you're doing it in warm water or hot water all the time, it's just going to take this glue and break it down. So try and avoid using warm water. Don't use warm water to clean your brush. Only really use warm water when you're using your brush soap. And that's like once a day. And it's only ever so slightly warm. So just be gentle. The other thing to keep in mind, of course, is depends how crappy your brushes are. If you've got cheapy, crappy brushes that cost you $1 from the pound shop, or $1 from the dollar shop even, or even £1 from the pound shop, you know what I mean. If you've got like a £2 set of brushes, they're probably not going to last very long. If you've got a set of army painted brushes or Winsor & Newton Series 7s or something like that, they'll last you a lot longer. And also Zadster and Sai both say about using a brush that's slightly bigger than you need. I've said this before in my videos and guides and stuff. If you're painting an object, don't use the smallest possible brush. Even if you're painting a very small fine detail, try and use something quite large. If you paint, say I was painting this wing, these red bits, you might want to use a very fine artificer brush. However, you might also just realise that using a slightly bigger base brush, this one needs cleaning, a base brush is actually better. Always use a slightly bigger brush than you think you need. I only use the tiny brushes really for very fine details. Don't be trying to fill in a load of area with a tiny brush, because that's just going to wear the brush out and you'll be stabbing it around. Use a bigger brush. So do have a selection of different sizes and always go a bit bigger than you think you need. Sai says, as adds to suggest, if using an artificer to paint a tank, you're doing it wrong. I paint with a size 2 for most tasks. If your brush has a well-kept point, you don't need a tiny brush. Yes, I've actually done very fine details with brushes that big. That's not that brush because it's a shade brush, but you can do very fine detail with massive brushes. You don't need the tiniest of pointy brushes for fine details either. There's a lot to it, but it's a lot to take in. But at the end of the day, it's just a case of don't jab it, keep it clean, and get yourself a decent brush soap. And if after that, if you've got a decent brush soap and you're cleaning them every day and you're still getting brushes that are decrepit after about a week, it may just be you being a bit heavy-handed. Just go easy. Remember, you're not putting plaster on a wall, you're laying down a coat of colour. So just let the brush and the paint do the work. You don't need to be putting a lot of pressure on when you're doing painting. It's not all about jamming the brush down. It's just about, a lot of times you get the brush on the surface with no pressure and you just pull it along and the paint will do the job for you. I need to zoom out because I've zoomed in again. A lot of people do paint and they go like that with the brush. Let's say, you know, for example, I don't know, Peachy and some others and that other guy. Yeah, they do it like this all the time. And all you're doing, if you're painting like that, this is my spatula brush. When I paint, I try and, sometimes you have to do that, but a lot of times I'll try and drag the brush. This helps keep it shape. If you're going like this, jabbing the brush in like that, of course, after about, you know, a day of that, your brush is going to look like a punk hairstyle because you're pushing the bristles out. So that's why. Dad says, don't be a jabber. And I say, all right, my babber, don't be a jabber. I like that. I like that very much. All right, my babber, don't be a jabber. Butch that model says, careful if you make your own brush cleaner. My last batch is a bit strong. It stripped the paint from the bottom 2 inch of any army painted brush. If you're going to make, one thing you'll also find is if you use any kind of solvents like thinners and stuff to clean your brushes, you can do that and it's not that bad. However, it may well shorten the life of your brush. I used to clean my brushes in a mix of Tamiya X28 thinner and some isopropyl alcohol. It cleaned them really nicely. But think of it logically. If you want to wash your hair, if you wash your hair in a nice shampoo and then a bit of a conditioner and you wash it carefully in nice warm water and then you let it dry, you'll have nice hair. If you wash your hair in alcohol, like if you've got a bottle of like Terps or white spirit and you washed your hair in that, how long do you think before your hair went all crispy and horrible? Yeah, I would say that's where this stuff is great, because this stuff is really strong, but it's actually really gentle. This can clean lacquer paint off your brush with enough cleanings, but it's gentle enough that it's not going to kill your brush, and it also kind of preserves it and gives it conditioning as well. Because a lot of the brushes, if they're not synthetic, they are actual hair. So you know you wouldn't wash your hair in Terps. So do be careful. If you're going to wash it in like solvents or spirits, make sure they're very weak. But you shouldn't need to. If you've got a brush soap and you're cleaning it all the time, you shouldn't need to use anything like that anyway. If you're having to use something strong like alcohol to clean your brush, then there's something, you're doing something wrong somewhere. Right, I think that's that bit done. Where's me dusty brush? Stippling dad, no smexy times, dirty old git. Don't be a jabber. Chris says, when are you going to be painting this? It'll be at some point later in the year. I'm going to get it built and then primed. And then once that's done, I'll get round to painting it. But when will that be? I don't know. Later in the year when I've finished all the other things I need to paint. Is that the right side for that one? It might even be the right bit. Alright, my babber, don't be a jabber. I like that. Don't be a jabber now. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the punk hairdo, says the bloke with the mohawk. Yeah, that's true. Yep, everyone knows this. That's poking size. That's Ghost Reynolds. Gross Reynolds. I just said gross models. Gross Reynolds. Gross models even. Right, what I'll do, I'm going to get this little bit off here, because I think this needs 47, 48, and then it needs to be 48 or 49. Okay. 48 or 49. Well, there's 48 or 49. I'm going to guess you've got an option of where the wings will actually sit, high or low. So that's kind of interesting. You can have a little bit of variation as to where the wings actually go. Now, I'm not necessarily going to glue the wings on now because I probably want to keep them separate. I'll be honest, I probably do want to keep them separate. 48 and 49. Just for the ease of painting later on. But I'll just quickly test them out and see what kind of difference they make. So we'll just snip that off there. That off there, you see? Snip that one off. Just quickly to have a look. Alright, my babber, don't be a jabber. Sticking in my head now, that is, Dad. Right, so puppy is there. Space puppy. So that's going to go there. How's this going now? I'm just going to completely guess now and not actually look at the reference instructions at all. Because of course I'm not. Because who looks at instructions? So that's going to go on there somewhere. That's going to attach on there. Let's get rid of that bit. Hang on a minute. Let's carve that off nicely. That's going to sit in there. Like that. I'm just going to rotate it round till I find how it's supposed to go. Rather than, you know, actually read the instructions. Because, oh, hello. Or I can just ping it off like that. So it needs to go there. So that will go something like that. Oh, there's a little triangle bit there. So that's going to sit on there like that. Then, Mr. Rossi, what you want? That's going to go on there. So that one will allow you to put the wing down. Oh, I see. That's going to be... Can't do this with two hands. That's going to be wing down like that. And the other one will therefore be... I'm going to guess... That is a corner. Oops. Don't know how that goes on now. There. That's going to be like that. Which is actually quite hard to do. So there's going to be a subtle difference. There's going to be a subtle difference. Very subtle difference. I'm not really sure. I can actually check off the top of my head. Because I can't remember what the last one looked like. It's quite fiddly. So that one's going to be... That one's going to be more with the wings splayed out. The other one will be more like close to the body like that. Okay. I think I'd go for the more splayed out look, to be honest. Although it's a bit of a bugger. Because once you put it on there, you're kind of knackered, you're kind of stuck with it. So, yeah. I think that one, though. I think that one would be much better to look at. The wing knuckles. Loads of fun just trying to see how they look, says Trot and Chad. Yeah, because you can't... looks to be a lot of stress on that joint, says Adster. Nah, because you've got massive glue surface there. Massive glue surface here. And same with those. So as long as you get your nice polystyrene cement, welding cement on there, you're going to be absolutely golden, I think, with that. I don't think that will be a problem. I could magnetite it. And that would certainly make shipping this thing when I sell it a lot easier. But Nah, I'll just glue it. I don't need to worry about sanding because I can just quickly scrape these edges smooth. And this is why I really don't want to use. A lot of people will use cyanoacrylate or super glue to glue all this stuff together. I don't, because this kind of joint, if you glue it with super glue and super glue shatters, your wing snaps off. It's dead easy to snap things off with super glue. If you glue it with welding cement like this stuff, Tamiya extra thin, it welds the plastic together. It goes from being a bit you glued on there to it's just the same part of plastic basically. So that can go on there. And I think what I'll do is I will glue this onto the wing. It seems to make much more sense to glue this bit onto the wing here and then glue that onto the wing later, because I've got a much bigger surface area there to put glue on later on if I scrape the paint off. Whereas if I do it this way, I've not. So let's get a bit of the extra fat glue first of all. Oh, I can't get the lid off. Doodle-doo. So we'll get that there. That's going to go on there. Let's just make sure I get it the right way up. That goes there like that. That sits there like that. Touch of the fat glue. I've always said before, I always use the regular glue first just to give me some stick, so things can support their own weight. So I'll stick that on there for a second. It's manja time, says Paul. I don't know what that means, Paul. What does that mean? What's a manja? Somebody's going. Simon Reynolds says, right, got to go, guys. I'm in summoned to the grill. Got to get my cook on. Thanks for coming inside. I always miss when people leave and it's like 10 minutes later. So thanks for coming in, dude. Much appreciated. He said, stick around, says 42 Scapa Flow and Puffins. Scapa Flow. Yeah, thanks for coming in, buddy. We'll get some. So yeah, I've got the fat glue on there. The fat glue just gives me some stick so it can support its own weight. Then the extra thin, I can bleed that into the little gap, little capillary action to the little gap, you know how it works. And then that will weld the two parts together. That's why I love extra thin. Unlike regular poly cements, which are these things, it literally melts the plastic into itself. So what, you know, with something like super glue, when you've got super glue, you've got a piece, and the glue in the middle hold them together. When that glue shatters, it's gone. You've just got two pieces. If that glue breaks, and CA glue, super glue, is not resistant to shock at all. At all, it's rubbish. It also breaks down over time, so yeah, it's not ideal. This stuff, when this joint is set, the glue completely evaporates away. Its entire job is to melt and liquidize the plastic. And then the plastic does all the work itself. So it's not actually sticky or adhesive in any way. It literally melts the plastic. So with extra thin and similar glues, you go from having two pieces of plastic to having one single piece of plastic. And that's why it's great. This gives you one of the strongest joints you're going to get. But it's also why it can be a bit destructive to your kit. You've got to be careful with it. Like here, some of it's splooged out here, so I'm just going to go over with the glue just to soften that. Now this is great because it's a skin texture. I can be a bit generous and it can soften any lines and nicely hide any splooges. It's also great for if you've drilled out a gun barrel, say on a Space Marine. If you've drilled a barrel out and it's got a little bit of the fuzzy wuzzy around the edge, or you've got some sanding marks or something, you can just brush a little of the Tamiya glue over it, and that will actually soften out any sanding marks and stuff. Thy Creator's off. Thanks for coming in, Thy Creator. So you robbed me blind of all my stickers. Now you're going to go. There you go. Nice one. Only joking. Thanks for coming in, dude. See you again soon. That's one wing done. Put that off to one side to dry. Now time for the other wing. I'll put that wing there. Doodle 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 boo. Bow. So now it's the time for the other wing. So we shall simply do exactly the same again. Put you over there, out of the way. Move that there. Get this swing off. It was nice that Alex turned up today. That was nice. Nice when new people turn up. I had a clue what was going on though. It was a bit like, I guess it was a bit like, because he's a Gumpler dude. It's a bit like Ted, like Skipper Ted coming to watch one of my Warhammer, one of my Gumpler streams and not knowing what the hell was going on. But I'm glad you all made him feel welcome, because of course he's welcome. You know he's welcome. Now I've already got one bit off here, because that came off the sprue right at the start. So I need this off. Yeah, see you there. There you go. Snip, 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 snipping, snipping all the sprue away. Anybody see the new trailer for Death Stranding yet? What the hell? Only Hideo Kojima can make a trailer that explains nothing. Then again, it's Hideo Kojima, what do you expect? Although technically, it should be Kojima Hideo. Not... I mean, Kojima Hideo, not Hideo Kojima. But hey. I have to go to Sunday dinner time roast beef, says Butcher that model. Thanks for coming in, Dave. Watching me do some Sigmar nonsense. I don't know. Appreciate you coming in though, dude. Yeah, watch the trailer for Death Stranding. I'm like, I don't understand. Anything of that just happened. Then again, it's a PlayStation exclusive in it, so I'm not going to play it anyway. Looks good though. Can't go wrong with a bit of Kojima. I watched with interest all the hoo-ha coming out about the new Call of Duty with his new engine and stuff. You know, Digital Foundry doing a big video on it saying this is going to be amazing, it's this new engine and blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, yeah, it might look nice, but it's still going to be a boring run-of-the-mill Call of Duty linear campaign that lasts you about 5 hours and then you're just bored. Won't be buying that anytime soon, thank you very much. No compulsion to buy that. A Death Stranding. Best comment so far is, what genre is this game? No, it's just like... Paul Di Tommaso says, new Terminator movie. Thoughts? I can't say my thoughts out loud. I want this video to be monetized. It looks rubbish. It looks absolutely nonsense. Every single cast member, I looked at them and thought, well, you just annoy me. I don't know why. I watched the trailer and thought, none of this is of any interest to me whatsoever. Every single character that pops up on screen that isn't like, you know, Arnie or Linda Hamilton was like, wow, you seem annoying. So like a whiny millennial type. I mean, I could be wrong. It's just, no, it didn't sell me at all. The only movie trailer that's really got me thinking I want to see that movie right now is Detective Pikachu. That's it. I really want to see Detective Pikachu. I don't know why. It just looks awesome. So I was excited when I watched Detective Pikachu. I'm like, oh, I need to watch that. But, you know, other than that, just no interest in anything else that's out at the minute. Arnie is back with wrinkles. The T-1000 will definitely try to reacquire you there. I would. No, it just looked like a typical... And the effect where the bad Terminator has that black goo that goes over his face. God, that looked terrible. That was a really bad visual effect. That was like worse than 1990s visual effects. It looked really bad. I mean, we're not talking Sonic the movie bad. We're not talking that bad CGI. But yeah, that effect where the stuff went over his face, it just looked like an effect placed on top of a film of a man's face. It was just terrible. No, it didn't interest me at all. I've long lost interest in the Terminator franchise. I've long ago lost interest in anything new in the Terminator franchise because after Terminator 2, just nothing has come out that's been any good at all. It's all been absolute gash. And it's like, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, for the love of God. I think, I don't know, just... I don't know what it is, whether it's just because I've got older or it's just that Hollywood has become more generic, but I've got to tell you, action movies, big budget movies nowadays just don't interest me at all, because they all just look the same. They're all just, I don't know, they're all just effects for the sake of effects, and it ruins it. Everybody wants to make the spectacle, but nobody actually wants to write the good story. And I think part of it comes from, it kind of started off in the early 90s with your Jurassic Park and your Independence Day and your Terminator 2, where the effects started to become more advanced, and producers could do things that they could never do before, and that was fine. That was great, but they got carried away, and it went from films like, Jurassic Park and Terminator 2, where there's a great storyline and great character building and lots of interesting stuff going on and plot and everything, and it just became more about the physical spectacle. That, look, we can now have 1,000 people on screen at the same time doing space battles, and it's like, okay, that's nice, but is there a story behind that, or is it just... Yeah, and then it kind of came to full fruition with things like the prequel Star Wars movies, where, the storyline was absolute garbage anyway, but it was one of those films where you had, like, say, a space scene with the ships flying around and battles going on, and you haven't got a clue what the hell... All you know is there's a billion things on screen all having a fight, and there's a billion things moving around dead fast, and because they can now animate 3,000 ships in space fighting each other, they animate 3,000 ships in space without any consideration for what's the story happening and can I actually tell what the hell's going on, because it's just things moving very fast. I don't know, it just seems to be around about then. Effects came into their own in that kind of early 90s, but when it got to the late 90s, early 2000s, you started to get the spectacle, the glitz over the substance. And it's not all like that, it's not all been like that. Look at, the first Iron Man movie. I hate Marvel. I have no interest in Marvel stuff at all. But I enjoyed the first Iron Man movie. That was good stuff. But that was kind of restrained, because it was still a good story. It had lots of special effects, but they were kind of restrained on it. But now it's like, because they can do things, they don't have the same restrictions that movie makers used to have when they couldn't do things, and they had to come up with creative ways to get around things that they couldn't film, and that led to creative and interesting story, beats and things like that. It's hard to put into words, but you probably get where I'm coming from. It's more like when they realised they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Because they can now do anything, because they say, we can now have a space battle with 100 ships doing all flying around in space. Okay, do you need that? Because I can point to films where you've got 3 ships on screen whizzing around, and it's far more compelling and far more interesting. It's like, a classic example would be The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, which is an absolute diamond of a film. One of the best sci-fi films out there. And then compare it to the sort of light remake that J.J. Abrams did with, Benedict Cumberbatch and stuff. That was, for all intents and purposes, the same kind of story, The Wrath of Khan, just retold. And look at how that movie has all the glitzy special effects and people going between ships and all this kind of stuff. And yet, it's nowhere near as interesting or satisfying to watch as the original Wrath of Khan, which had a $5 million budget, which in today's money is probably about $20 million, and had very limited special effects and was all character driven. I would take the original Wrath of Khan any day over that. The new one, the one J.J. Abrams made, it was a good film. It was all right. It was nothing wrong with it. It was a fairly decent film. It just didn't have a patch on the original Wrath of Khan, because the original Wrath of Khan, they didn't have a massive budget. They were told to try and cut the costs from the first movie because the first movie cost $1 trillion, $1 billion, and was boring. And they said, basically, you've got $5 million, there you go, make it an interesting film. And they rewrote it, and it was all about aging and the characters, and Khan and Kirk facing off, and the acting was, Ricardo Montalban was chewing up the scenery, and what special effects there were very limited. Although it was one of the first movies to have CGI for the Genesis effect thing, and that was a big chunk of their budget. But that was a far superior film, story-wise, character-wise. It was much more interesting. And that's the problem nowadays. There's no impediment to the producer. Where there's an impediment, where the producer, I want to have a big space battle, we haven't got the budget for it. Okay, well then we'll have just 2 or 3 ships, but we'll make it character-driven, we'll focus on other aspects. That's where good stuff comes from. If you say, I want a space battle with 1,000 ships, and they go, okay, great, then I haven't got a clue what's going on screen. And I think that's where modern films are. I'm on a rant. I always do. You guys always end up making me do a rant, don't you? You're terrible, you lot. Spid says, get off my lawn. I'm shouting at the clouds again. Let's have a look. Where are we? Well said, Fox, says Sergeant Bones. It's not an Arnie movie unless he says, get to the chopper. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. I've got news for you. There is no bathroom. Quick, Amazon has Venom and Predator upgrade for 99 cents. Are the films good or just trash? Probably trash if they're modern. Try Glass, assuming you've seen Unbreakable and Split. Excellent trilogy. I don't know what either of those films are, so I can't say on them. Tom Rickliff, hello all, latecomer, had non-model stuff to do. Hey Tom, you came in the middle of me doing an old man rant about movies. You always end up making me do some kind of old man rant at some point during the show, don't you? Old man shouts at clouds. I don't know, they're just kind of designed for low attention spans. If you want to see proper movie making, which is, to me, a movie should have a bit of spectacle. There should be some spectacle. I'm not saying you shouldn't have spectacle, but you should still have. It should not be at the expense of characterization and good writing. Go and watch. If you want to know how far we've come in terms of storytelling, go and watch Capricorn 1 or All the President's Men. Nothing happens for 2 hours. Nothing happens really in either of them, but you'll be gripped. I mean, all the President's Men, it's a thoughtful political drama. There's nothing really happens, but it has tension, it has action, it has suspense, it has characters. It draws you in, and yet really nothing happens. Same with Capricorn 1. It's a sci-fi movie, but there's not a lot of action. But there is a lot of action, but there isn't. And that's what's lost nowadays. I don't know. Making me do rants again, aren't you? That's what's missing nowadays, is that ability. It's because producers think that audiences don't have the attention span to deal with either complex issues or anything meaningful. And it's a shame because there is a lot of people. I mean, there are a lot of people that would be bored if there wasn't an explosion every 5 minutes. There's a reason Michael Bay is very rich, is because he makes films for people who don't really do thinking, and they just want things to explode. There's a market for that. There is a market for that. But it just seems a shame that people can't see past that. For the ADHD generation. Oh no, if we have anything complex, we need to at least be able to explain it with a voiceover. It's the Blade Runner effect, isn't it? Where they had a voiceover kind of explaining explain what everything was, which people who are actually classic connoisseurs of the film will pan that version because it was insulting. Producers think that, sci-fi movies, for example, you go for like not even sci-fi, you go for a summer blockbuster flick, like, your Marvel stuff, your Transformers or your Iron Mans or whatever, Spider-Mans or whatever, you know, Avengers type stuff, they don't have to be deep and thoughtful. They're just kind of fun romps, and that's fine. Because they're based on comic books. That's fine. They don't have to be deep and thoughtful. But sci-fi generally is an intelligent genre. It's a genre for the more thoughtful individual that can actually deal with a complicated storyline and lots of characters and deep character machinations. People can kind of cope with that. You know, somebody that can read Watchmen can probably grasp a complicated storyline in an hour and a half or 2 hour long movie. So, you know, I don't know. It's almost insulting. And that would, it'd be fine to make. There's nothing wrong with making highbrow films and lowbrow films. It's just that nowadays everything seems to be lowbrow. Oh. Troughton Charge says, "Con." Zaz says, "Unfortunately, they're making films for the 18 to 25 group. Knuckle draggers," he says, as I like that phrase. Troughton Charge says, "Captain, it was Khan. He put things in our ears." I was in my head the other day. I was quoting The Wrath of Khan. That's my favourite film of all time. Is The Wrath of Khan. I would not presume to debate that, which you know so well, Admiral. That would be wise. Botany Bay. Botany Bay. Oh no. You thought this was SETI Alpha 6. Tell me, why are you here? And where may I find Admiral James Kirk? Oh God, Ricardo Montalban chewing up the scenery in Wrath of... That is the best, I'll say it now, out loud, that is the best film ever made by anyone, ever, ever, ever. The Wrath of Khan. If you haven't seen it, do for the love of doggone watch it. You don't even have to like Star Trek. It's still just an awesome film. You still have to watch it. It's just the best. It's just the best. Damn it, Jim, everyone has a birthday. Why are we treating yours like a goddamn funeral? Don't mince words, Bones. What do you really think? Jim, I'm your doctor and I'm your friend. Get back your command before you grow too old. Get back your command before it's too late. Before you really do grow old. You of all people, Bones, should understand the consequences of reopening old wounds. Favourite film in the world. Adam Clark says, I didn't see the movie Capricorn 1, but I did see the TV series. I didn't know there was a TV series. But yeah, you need to watch the movie. Personal favourite is Silent Running, says Sergeant Bones. That's another film, like Capricorn 1 and All the President's Men, where nothing actually happens for an hour and a half, but it's one of the best films you'll ever see. Kirk, it is a far, far superior film we make now. A far better storyline. We only come for the rants, says Zadster. Tom says, most don't, but they still make those kinds of movies. There is Roma. There are many movies not for me. I have to be in the mood to watch a good movie. So look, Adam Clarkson. I didn't see the film Capricorn 1. I've seen that one. As Asta says, they don't make much money, so not many get made. Again, they don't make much money. It's not because there are people there because nobody's going to watch them. It's because they don't put money behind them to then advertise them and promote them, because they're afraid if they make an intellectual film, they'll make no money off it. But it's the short-sightedness of the executives that's the problem. The kind of people that demanded there be a voiceover on Blade Runner. Do. Which wasn't Ridley Scott's choice, it should be said. He didn't want that. He rallied against it. Adam Clark says, evening, Dad. I bet you're a happy man today. I'm going to guess there's been some footballism then of some sort that Dad would be happy with. I don't know anything about footballism. I have no interest in any sports. Sports bore me. I don't know why just sports boring. I have no interest in sport at all. Right, this one's the same again now. We're going to have two different options. Two different ways to orient the wings. So let's just see. We can loosely figure out what options we've got. We've got this piece here, which makes them go like something. I don't know, like that kind of way. Ooh. It's difficult to know exactly how it's going to make it go, because it's not exactly a surefire tight fit. Ugh. It's only a rough idea. I need to get a rough idea before I decide which way I'm going to do it. No, let's just take that piece off. This piece here will give us... What will that give me? That will give me... Hard to see. That's not going to go there because that's going to go over where the dude is. How is this going to fit? How is that going to go on? That one needs to be that way. This way like that, you see? One's in here like that. That goes down there. That goes into there. Little triangle bit. Let's do what somebody said. I'll do what somebody suggested. Get some blue tack. But I don't have blue tack. I have blue tack. There we go. That is the blue tack. Roger, sticking now. So that will go on there, and that will go like that. That will sit like... I know you guys are just seeing this from above, so it doesn't really work for you guys, but... That's going to go like that, sticking up that way. That's kind of aggressively sticky up, that is. That's weird. Or, so that's a sticky up one. Very strange. What was this one here? Which goes in like that. Which is more... Okay, so it's always going to be a pointy forward job. Not a massive difference between them, to be honest. That one's there. That one is there. That one's a bit more laid back rather than that. I think that one maybe. I think that one is more pleasing to my eye. Oops. Tweezers. Curse you, blue tack, and your over adhesive properties. There we go. The only acceptable voiceover is the Morgan Freeman machine used at the start of the Guru. What? Start of the Guru? What? I don't understand what that means. Is there a film called The Guru? I'm Morgan. I really wish I could do a Morgan Freeman impression, because that would be mint. I'm Morgan Freeman. Right, so I'm going to same again with this wing. We're going to go with the fat glue first. Fat glue, you say? Is anybody watching right now Good Omens on the Amazons? The Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett jobby. I started watching it last night. And I don't know what I'm doing now. I've put the glue on there and I've kind of forgotten what I'm supposed to do with it. I started watching last night, actually. And it seems alright. Except I really can't be doing with the voiceover. And I know it's making it true to the book, because there's, if I remember right, there's a narration in the book. And I don't care that it's a woman. It's supposed to be the voice of God narrating the story. I don't care it's a woman. I'm not interested in that at all. It makes me no difference at all. What bugs me is it's an American voice. It's like, why? Why is the narrator American? I don't know why. It just doesn't work. I don't know. For some reason, it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit for some reason. The narrator, I mean, not the wing on this. Yeah, I don't know. It just bugs me. It kind of spoils it a bit. Because it's got this nice quirky quality to it, the humour, and then the narration comes in and kind of lowbrows it. Again, it's just treating. No, but like I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. For some reason, Terry Pratchett writing seems to make actors suddenly not very good. It brings the worst out in actors, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's really, I don't know. I just think the voiceover ruins it a bit, purely because it's an American voice. Because I'm thinking, I have no problem at all it's being a woman. Although I think a voice like, for example, Stephen Fry would be a brilliant voice, or who's the thing? Brian Bless. Imagine Brian Bless as the voice, or the voiceover, because he can speak quietly. I mean, they've got Derek Jacobi as the thing. Where I'm not going to give any spoilers, but Derek Jacobi's in it. He would have made a good voiceover, a good narrator. Loads of different voice actors and voice talent out there that could have done that. But yeah, some American woman, don't know. Good. But I tell you what was funny though. I say the first 2 episodes I was like, it's all right. It seems a bit strained. I think they've maybe not got the best crop of actors who aren't in the starring roles. Like the second tier actors are maybe not the best, because Terry Pratchett's writing is a bit clunky when you try and actually act it. I think it seems to give this weirdly clunky feel to it. But you know, Sheehan and Tennant are brilliant as the 2 characters. They pull it off brilliantly. But what was I saying? Yeah, the first 2 episodes were like, it's a bit strained, but then the 3rd episode or 4th, where it starts off with just the angel and the demon going through different periods in time, that was actually really good, because that was funny, and that was like just the two characters growing to like each other and become friends over time. That was actually hilarious. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I don't know. It seems I've got 2 episodes to go anyway. It seems like jolly good fun. I know they're making a series, or somebody somewhere is making a series of Guards. It might be a Sky thing, based on the Hogswatch, not Hogswatch. What's the Guards in Ankh-Morpork? Basing it on them. I forgot what it's called now. Right, where's the triangle bit on this? That might be quite good. You know, the one where it's Commander Vimes is the head of the. You know which one I mean. Ankh-Morpork. Anyway, they're doing that. But I can't remember who's doing that. If it's a Sky thing or a movie or a... TV and radio don't seem to be able to do Terry Pratchett without stupid gimmicks that don't work. Yeah, I don't know if like I say, I don't know if it's something about the way Terry Pratchett wrote that works perfectly on the page, but perhaps doesn't work quite well when somebody's actually speaking the lines and acting them out. I don't know. Because I've seen, you know, you've seen all the series. There's a couple of Sky did a couple of like the Hogsfather ones and stuff, where I've read the books and they're brilliant. Of course, they're works of genius. And then you watch the thing and it's like, yeah, it's not really working, is it? When you say it out loud, I don't know. It's a real shame. Guards, says Zadster. Yes. A jaded angel and a jaded demon stop the apocalypse. You've got to love it, says Sergeant Bounds. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. I won't give any spoilers. It seems like a good fun romp. It's just I'm thinking it could have come out a bit better. I think it's a pacing issue. Sometimes there's a lot of action bits and then just like it stops like a handbrake turn and you're like, oh, okay. The City Watch, says Dave. Fox warning, danger, scroll up before doing anything else to the Drake. Will check the dude's legs fit before choosing the wing position. Oh, I've chosen the wing position now. Too late. Oh well. We'll just have to make sure we choose the right legs on the dude that fit with the wings that I've already glued. Wow, that doesn't take anything, does it? If that determines which dude I'm building, that's a bit rubbish, because it doesn't say that anywhere. What if I've got a mixture of both? That's a bit naff then, isn't it? Because I've kind of decided the wings now. I've determined which ones I'm going to have, because I've glued the thing on the end. But it didn't tell me anything like I need to think about that. Oh well, but what I'll have to do when I make the dude, I'll just have to blue tack the wings on, and see if the guy fits. And if he doesn't fit, I'll have to just fudge it a bit and build the other guy. Thanks for the warning, Dave. Good job you told me that, because I wouldn't have known that. Unless I've just missed something in the instructions that explains all that. Because it says you've got a choice of wings. It says there. It says there you can do that one or that one. That one or that one. But it doesn't say what the consequences of that choice are, or what happens if you mix and match. So that's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Because I want to do the Lord Celestant, but I don't know if I've got the right wings on him now. I know not. We'll find out. We will find out. Right. Before we call it quits for today, let's do a dry fit of toe wings. I've done a bit more than normal today. I've done a bit today. I've not done nothing. Normally I've not done anything by the end of the show, but there you go. That's not going to stay on at all, is it? No. That will require some serious tomfoolery with the gluery. It's not going to stay on my blue tack. It's not going to remain in place. Yeah, that's going to fall off straight away. No, you can use any legs, just make sure the wings are set right or he will sit a bit high and look daft. See if this one stays on. Just want the wings stay on long enough to close up the show, that'd be nice. It's going to fall off. Yeah, blue tack's not going to hold these on. Never mind. Have I given him derpy wings? I get the feeling I may have actually given him derpy wings. Never mind. I feel like he's just woken up and he's kind of fallen over a bit. He's like, oh, where's the bathroom? Oh, well, never mind. I don't mind. It's all jolly good fun. Right, I think we're going to do it there. Take my headset off. I think we're going to call it there. It is 10 to 6 anyway. I've had a good rant about something, which is always good for my show. I should always have at least a half hour to 45-minute rant about something. Young kids today, whoa, get off my lawn, shouting at clouds. So I'm glad for that. Thank you for making me rant. You guys always make me rant about something. I don't know. You seem to know all my triggers. I hate you all for that. I don't really. Right, I'm putting the glasses on. So yes, that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, we are back. Me, Chris and Ted are back tomorrow with the eModels live stream because it's back after the bank holiday. So that'll be tomorrow night at 9 PM on the eModels channel. Don't forget, of course, tonight, 8 PM on Chris's channel, Gross Models. Go and have a look along. If you're not already on his channel or subscribe, go and subscribe. He's doing his evening Warhammer programme. That's at 8 PM BST, 8 PM tonight UK time. And that's the Warhamster. He's working on his Mega Knobs. He's doing his own little Warhammer thing. And it'll be the first time you've seen his new Warhamster logo. Because that thing, I drew that for him, didn't I? See, remember? That is his new logo. So he'll be using his new Warhammer. I think he will anyway. It better had be. To trouble drawing it. Yeah, so as Asta says, Chris gets his knobs out at 8. So he's working on some Mega Knobs. So go and watch that. I'm going to try and be there and be in the live chat. I'm not always able to make it, sadly, but I like it when I do. So I might see you there. With me, don't forget, I'm still working on the Master Grade Sazabi. I'm still sanding components and cleaning them up, so I've not even started building yet. So I will try and do some more live streams throughout the course of this week. I did a Patreon-only one last week. I might do another... I'll probably do some more Patreon-only live streams, just so I've given the patrons some kind of content. But I'll probably do a Patreon-only one during the week. And I'll do some non-Patreon ones as well. Basically, because sanding all the parts is really, really boring. And I need some company while I'm doing it. So if I can hang out with you guys while I'm sanding stuff. Yes. So I'll do some more of those this week. And then eventually, once that's done, I'll be able to start filming it. Don't know when I'm going to get the next X-Wing build components, but that'll be in the next 3 to 4 weeks, so expect another episode. I've got to go and check the episode I did yesterday. That is up now, the first episode. I may have to replace it though, so I don't know yet. If it suddenly disappeared, don't panic. We'll go and watch that. And what else? I think that's about it. I may have a mystery package turning up in the next few days as well. So there you go. Once the Once the Sazabi build actually starts, I'm doing the proper building. Remember, that will be a Patreon exclusive series. You're going to have to be a patron to watch the actual build series. If you want to become a patron, do go and have a look at patreon.com/model making guru. The address is there. My entire source of income is my patrons. They help me pay the bills, so do go and have a look and see if you can help out. The video build series will be from $10 patrons up, so anybody $10 or more can watch the series. As with an exclusive series, I will do little build videos for non-patrons, but they'll be between a few episodes. So when I'm doing this at the Sazabi, normal non-patron content may drop off a bit, but don't panic, it's just because I'm doing other stuff. But that's going to do us. So I need to go for a great big wee. And I might actually get the guy finished tonight. I might get the guy built up and finished. And then next week, one other thing I've decided to start doing on Warhammer Sundays. As you know, I'm doing the Warhammer Conquest series, and I know a couple of people have asked me, Jamie asked me about this. The Warhammer Conquest series is not gone. It's not gone anywhere. I'm just doing the Sazabi right now, and this on a Sunday. It is piling up. I need to get back to it, but each episode takes a while to film, and I've got the Sazabi and then the Millennium Falcon deal. They're going to take priority, so I haven't got time really. What I'm going to start doing though is on Warhammer Sunday, actually use the Sunday time to build the bits for Warhammer Conquest, just so that when it comes to I've finished the Falcon and I've finished the Millennium Falcon builds, a few months from now, I'll have a whole load of things built that I can then film the painting of. Because a lot of them I'm just following the magazine, and you don't need to be shown how to glue a figure together. So for a lot of the figures and stuff, I'm going to start building them on here, on this show on a Sunday, just so I can get them in. It's a lot easier to have them in my transport case built than it is to have lots of bags and envelopes sitting around. So I'll start building them up on a Sunday as well. Anyway, I need to go for a wee. So I shall go and have a great big wee. Then I shall see you all later on, hopefully, for Chris's stream at 8 PM. Remember, Gross Models, go and subscribe to his channel. And thanks to Alex who came in earlier on as well. Go and look at his channel. Look at everybody's channel. Go and subscribe to, Butcher That Model and Dad over at Scaly Models and stuff. And I shall see you all tomorrow night, or if not, I'll see you next Sunday anyway. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome like this. Go be awesome. You there, go be awesome. Not even point at the camera. And until next time, adios amoebas. I'm not even, where's the camera? There's the camera. Adios amoebas.